Welcome back, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the New Cow Corner. Today's a special one. They're all a little special in their own unique ways, but today is special to me. Our guest is someone I've been following and really keeping in the most respectful way possible, keeping a close eye on for a while now, and been watching him build an insane collection. We appreciate you guys coming by. Me and Mark will not stop, and as long as there's people out there breeding and keeping and doing cool shit, we're going to keep recording. So without any further ado, I'd like to introduce John from Killer Exotics. If you're
What's
not
up?
following him, go check out him on the Instagram, social media, wherever. You're definitely going to want to see what John's got going on. John, give us a quick introduction of yourself, your brand, and maybe how you got into this whole New Caledonia thing, or reptiles in general.
All right, so I'm John Pastula of Killer Exotics. I used to breed reptiles when I lived in South Florida. I moved to Georgia 12 years ago, but I took about 14-year break from breeding reptiles. I got a couple cicada tortoises when I first got my dog with my wife. We moved into our first apartment. And so I got the tortoise, and then before you know it, I had a whole zoo inside my one-bedroom apartment. Had baby alligators in a big 75-gallon tank in the living room, panther chameleons, everything. I've always liked animals and dinosaurs when I was a kid. My mom let me have some reptiles growing up. She wasn't like one of those parents who were like, you can't have this or can't have that. I remember I caught a baby ringneck snake by our front door, and I was like, can I keep it? And she's like, yeah. So then I go to the pet store and I was like, yo, what do I feed this thing? And they're like, crickets. So I was like, all right, let me get about 10 crickets. So I threw 10 crickets in the cage. The next morning I go in there, the damn crickets ate the snake. And so I was like, what the heck? And so, I mean, because this was years ago, man. I was probably in like fifth grade, fourth grade when that happened. But anyways, I had that, and then I got like a little turtle from the pond, and you get one of those plastic things with a little palm tree in the middle. And this little sucker would escape every day and run to the back patio door. So I was like, I just let him back in the lake. I was like, this dude doesn't want to live in this thing. But yeah, growing up in South Florida, get to see all the cool alligators and all the wildlife down there. And like I said, going to zoos and stuff, I was just hooked on animals. I just love animals. So then I worked at a reptile store in Boynton Beach called Dark Forest Reptiles. So I got to learn a little bit about the business. And then I got into breeding bearded dragons, leopard geckos, did that for a little while. Then I met an older gentleman at the gym. His name was Al Jones, and he was in his like late 60s when I first met him. And my grandma ended up passing away, and he saw I was upset, and he's like, and that's how we started talking. He ended up buying me a plane ticket to go to my grandma's funeral to Connecticut. And so when I came back, I told him I was getting into like breeding reptiles. He's like, oh, that's cool. He's like, I love reptiles. You care if I come over and check them out one day? So he comes over and checks them out. And then we for a few months we were talking reptiles. He's like, well, how about, he's like, I know I can't really help you because I'm older, but what if I funded you some money and we can like do this together? And I was like, yeah, that's cool. We could do that. So we teamed up and I made JP's Jungle. We did probably like, I don't know, 8 or 9 shows down there in the Fort Lauderdale and West Palm area. I also vended with the guy that owned the reptile store at Daytona show, which was pretty cool. I remember him giving me this big 9-foot red-tailed boa, and he's like, "Try selling this for me." So I got it wrapped around my arm, and the lady, and I hate like I don't really like snakes. I like to look at them, but I just don't like messing with them. And so I was holding, I was like, "It doesn't bite." He's like, "No, it doesn't bite." So the lady walks up and is like, "Yeah, it's a nice snake. Is it tame?" I was like, "Yeah, it hasn't bitten me yet." And as soon as I said that, thing latches onto my elbow and lets go. I got blood dripping down, and the lady's face was priceless. And she's like, "I'm good on that." So I go back to my buddy. I was like, I thought it was a nice snake. And he sees blood dripping down and stuff. And he's cracking up laughing. And I'm like, this guy's like, well, at least you broke your cherry on getting bit by a snake. And
Yeah.
so um, after a while, like I said, I was still in my early 20s. It was a lot of work. I had tons of reptiles and to clean everything, feed everything. And I decided to take a break. So I sold everything, but kept my 2 tortoises. So the tortoises, they're about 20, a little over 20 years old. I still have them. And so then fast forward, my dogs passed away. Didn't want to get dogs again. So my nephew was like, let's go to a reptile show. And I was like, all right, cool. So we go to a reptile show, Show Me Snakes in Marietta. We go there and I end up buying 2 cherry head redfoot tortoise babies. So I bring those home and I was like, you know what? Maybe I'm going to start breeding tortoises because my big ones are starting to lay eggs. And I know it's a long haul when you buy them as babies till they're ready to breed. So then I go to the next reptile show and I meet Sam from Ancient Creations, and my nephew's talking to her and he's looking at this gecko, and I go over there and I was like, what's that? And she's like, it's a gargoyle gecko. And I was like, dude, that thing's pretty badass. It looks like a little alligator in its face, it has cool colors. And I was like, what's the maintenance on these? Oh, no UV, no heat lamps, the usual stuff that you always hear. And I was like, man, no UV, no heat lamps. You feed them the Pangea, you give them crickets once in a while. I was like, I think I could do this. And I was like, I could have a lot of these things. So I ended up, I didn't buy one from her, but when I was leaving the show, I went to another booth and my buddy Bobby, he was selling some and I ended up buying one from him. 3 weeks later, I go to Daytona show. Bobby that I bought my first gecko, he met me at the show. And that's when I met David from Tiki's. And I was doing research before I went down there and I saw the Deadpool line and I was like, wow, those colors are insane. Like, I want to get one of those. So I remember lining up real early and I was like, I wonder if I'm going to be able to grab one. So I was the first guy at his table. And I was like, anything Deadpool? He's like, I brought offspring straight from Deadpool Senior and I have a granddaughter. So I bought the Deadpool Senior offspring and my buddy bought the granddaughter. And then across from him was Paul Morlock and Kelly from Rack House and Eclipse. I talked to them I was at their table for at least 2 or 3 hours talking to Paul. You know how Paul is. He'll tell you everything. And that dude he's just amazing. And like, I can't say nothing but good things about that guy. Same with Kelly too. Like David, Kelly, and Paul were probably the top gargoyle breeders in the game. Probably Brian Susan from Sundown. He's another one. So I would see these people at shows and I would talk to them for a while and just pick their brain, like to get as much information because they were willing to share it. So I was like, ask them a bunch of questions and dude, I just fell on before you know it, after my first year, I think I had like 100 geckos. And then now it's just been my 4th season. I got almost 300 and I just I can't thank them enough. Like I love the Gargs. I got Cresties too, and they're cool, but it's just the Gargs, the colors, the way they look, and they're just I don't know. I just like them so much more better than the Cresties. But the Cresties are cool too. Like I got the Xanthics and the Super Dalmatians and a couple other ones, but I'm not going as crazy in the Cresties like I am with the Gargs. So
If you enjoy them more, it makes sense.
yeah. So yeah, man, and then in the beginning my wife, she knows how I am. Like when I get into something, I can't just like do a little bit, like I'm all in. So she's like, are you going to have like another 100 reptiles and this and that? And I'm like, probably. So I told her I was like the first few years you're not really going to see any money because you got to buy all your geckos, you got to raise them up, breed them, grow them out because they're so dark when they first hatch out. And that's another thing I asked a lot of breeders. Like, what would you do now that or back then that you know now? And a lot of them are like, just I want to sell your geckos right away. Grow them out, see if you're producing male and females, see how they're producing. So that if you want to keep that pair together, because sometimes people say they sell geckos and they sell them under price, or they'll sell them and they'll see them and be like, damn, I should have kept that one for a project. So I'm in no rush to sell. I got another job that pays my bills. So this right here is just like a fun hobby for now. But yeah, man, like I said, I just went hardcore into it. And in the beginning, I remember going to Paul's table and Kelly had a super blotch. I think it was $3,700. And I'm like, damn, them things are expensive, $3,700, because I wanted super blotch and I didn't know they were going for that much money. She's like, yeah, super blotches are expensive. And that was also in 2022. So the prices were still a little up there. But yeah, now I'm buying geckos for like anywhere from 1,000 up to $5,000 a pop. Where before I was like, I didn't think in a million years I'd spend that much money on a gecko. So it's crazy. And back in the day, I used to think people were crazy for spending $200-300 on a pair of shoes. Now, now I'm throwing all this money on geckos. But like I said, man, like doing this, it's like Christmas every day because you either have eggs getting laid, eggs hatching, you're buying something, or you see a gecko you haven't seen in like a week or two, and then all of a sudden you're like, damn, that thing looks totally different than it did last week. Like, holy shit. So it's exciting. It's fun. I love doing it. I like meeting I met a bunch of people on Instagram. Like I said, I wasn't big into social media at all, but my buddy's like, you got to get an Instagram going if you're going to be selling geckos. Like, he's like, do it now. And so I'm glad I started it a couple of years ago. And Anthony, you've been, like you said, you've seen me from the beginning. Like, so I came a long way. I mean, I did. It's a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of patience,
You
and
did it though. You did it. You know, you're doing it.
yeah.
Well, you got
So
to build something to be proud of. That's for sure. You built a collection that's. I mean, it leaves me speechless. I know what you spent. I know where you're getting them. I listen. It's probably one of. I would go as far as saying. I mean, and I love Paul. I talk to Paul all the time. You have the most strategically built collection out of anyone that I know. You've strategically built and handpicked a collection better than. I mean, I would feel super confident saying that a lot of these guys, if they could rewind the hands of time, wish they could go back and do it how you did it.
well, what Brian from Sundown said, like when he started, he's like, try to get the best animals you can for the money that you have that you can spend, because he's like, I mean, as you see, when you spend 1,500 plus on a gargoyle, and you see how those colors pop, and like it's like you could look at it for hours and be like, "Holy shit, that thing's just badass." And then when you hatch them out, it's even better because it's like, "Holy cow!" Like I don't have to spend $2,000 on a gecko. I'm hatching this baby out right here. So like, and this is the first season where I probably got like 50 holdbacks that I'm growing out just to make sure, like, to see how they develop. I got other ones too that surprised me because like when I'll put like HB on the front of the enclosure, and there'll be some geckos that won't get it right away, but after a couple of weeks, bam, they'll get a sticker like, holy cow, this thing out of nowhere, them colors just came in. Especially with the Deadpool, sometimes it takes a little while for those colors to really, that red to pop. And then some of them right off the bat will come out like, holy cow, you'll know that thing's going to be a smoker right off the bat. But then you get the ones that surprise you that you don't think, like I had these ones that were brown and they kept staying brown for like a good 6 months. And all of a sudden they started turning pink and they get like pretty much a pastel pink, and when they fire up, it'll just be a darker pink. But in the beginning, I was like, man, these are just going to be, I'll probably grow them out for a couple months and then just sell them for cheap. But now I'm glad I hung on to them because Bill from Hashtag, he just bought a pink one and got it delivered yesterday. And he's like, whoa, this thing's awesome. And when I was packing it up, I was like, man, I don't know. I think I was dumb for selling this one, but I got two more that look identical right behind it. But yeah, man, like it's so much fun. I love these
Yeah.
damn geckos, man.
So when
They're
you
best.
started this, John, what did you have an objective? Did you have a goal? When you buy animals, do you buy them to pair with other animals you already have? Like what's your objective? What is Killer Exotics mission statement, if you will?
So my mission is to create gargoyle. Well, we'll just say gargoyles. I also do the cresties too, but I'm more focused on the garg. So I like to have nice structure, colors that are like just pop. Like I like the skeleton patterns and the big thick blotches that go down the back. Like I'm more of a super blotch guy than I am a super stripe guy, even though the super stripes are badass too. But I like the high end stuff, like the bright colors that are from head to tail. Like I want to start getting a lot more with head color on there, plus with all the other stuff too. So yeah, my goal is basically to create high quality gargoyles, like focus on the horns and structure, not only the color, and give people a chance to own one of these awesome things. And I like going to shows and teaching people about these geckos. Like everyone comes to the table and they're like, gargoyles, you have any cresties? I'm like, cresties are cool. Yeah, I got some right here, but man, check out the gargs, bro. Like everyone's got cresties. The gargoyles, man, I just feel like when they fire up and fire down, you get two different geckos most of the time. They look so different. Their personalities are a little bit cooler. They're a little bit more tame. They're not as jumpy and flighty as the cresties. But I mean, you can get any gecko to be chill. You just gotta spend time with it and make sure you let it know you're not a predator. And once it gets to relax and know you, man, like this guy right here, he was crazy when he was smaller. And now he's like a little potato. He just hangs out and chills. And that's what I tell everyone at the shows. I was like, they're like, I want one like that just hangs out on your shoulder. I was like, pretty much you can do it with any of these. You just got to spend time with it and let it get used to you and just throw it on your shoulder and let it hang out there. And after a while, they're going to know. And I mean, these things are not as dumb as they look. Like, I feel like the Gargs are a lot smarter than the Cresteds for sure.
Just about everything's smarter than a crested gecko.
But the one thing that sucks with the Cresties, I hate when they drop their tails. Like that's just one thing that really that's what turned me off in the beginning. That's why I didn't get it for a while. And the only reason why I really got into it is because David from Tiki's, I was buying so many Gargs off him. He was like, "Yo, I'm gonna throw you a high end crested gecko for $25 at it to your price you want." I was like, "Sure, I'll take it." And that's what started it. And then I ended up liking the lily white Xanthics. So then I called Altitude Brian and I was like, yo, I want a regular, I should have got a male lily white Xanthic, but I went backwards and I ended up getting a visual Xanthic male and the female lily white. And so I remember for the pair, I paid $8,000 for the pair. But Oreo, that thing is she's just amazing. Her diamond head's just so big, which you don't really see a lot with the Xanthics. They mostly have a little bit more narrow heads than bigger diamond heads. So yeah, and then I found out this whole thing about everyone hates the Dalmatian dots. And so once I found out about that, my male, he had like 7 dots on him. So I ended up upgrading my male for last season. I got Ludacris, and he was my only gecko that didn't have a tail because I bought him without a tail. But dude, the babies I'm getting last year and I'm getting this year are so much better. They're super clean, no dots. They're even darker. Where you'll see with the lily white Xanthics, a lot of time they're more gray instead of that dark black color when they fire up. So I'm trying to focus on getting more darker Xanthics going forward is what my project is with those. But it's just crazy how the price of those things drops so much. Like now you go on there and you can get babies for like $600, $700. So, but I mean, it is what it is. That's why I always tell people like, get what you like. Don't chase like like when stuff first comes out, man, like by the time you buy that baby and grow it out, the price is already going to drop in half easy.
Yeah. By the time you start producing them, the hobby will be on to the next thing. So
like the super fire leucistic for the cresteds, the pink guys. Yeah. I got a male and I wasn't paying full price for that. Like people were asking $7,500 for one of those. I ended up winning one on auction for $3,500. And so that's the only reason why I got it. It was for 35, and it's a male, and he's going to be ready to breed. Probably right beginning of summertime. I'm going to pair him up with a Xanthic lily white, and
Yeah.
regular lily white for now. And then I'm going to get a regular female fire so then I could produce more supers. So,
Interesting. I haven't really, I haven't talked to many people about them or followed the gene closely, myself. Just to be completely honest, because I'm just not interested in them. I mean, I think that there's plenty of people that are. That's great. I'd love to see what they do with them, but I don't. I don't want to produce them. The Exantics, love them. One day I will. I kind of want to see how much more the market changes. Not that I really care. It's just I'm on a budget, if you will. I would hate to go if they never come past. I know they have, but say for argument's sake, they never drop below $5,000, and that's what I got to spend. Then that's what I'm going to have to spend. But I watched the market change so much in 8 years that I would, with my luck, I'll go and spend $5,000, and tomorrow there'll be 400.
yeah.
So I just want to sit back, and being that I'm not doing it for money, I'm not looking for resale. I just want to work with a gene. I just watch for a while. I watch and observe, and then in my head strategize over, on what I can do with the gene and what I'd like to do with the gene. And if it comes to be, then it does. If it doesn't, I watch everyone else do it, and admire it.
I want to try getting those black eyes on a lily white Exantic. That would be sick. Or even a regular Exantic, just black eyes would be pretty cool. So, but who knows? Like, it's going to be a project and it takes time. And that's one thing with the Cresties, man. They lay so many more eggs than the Gargoyles. Like, I got 2 females last season, gave me 26 eggs each, and they all hatched out. And thank
It doesn't
God one of
stop.
them was from my nice Super Dalmatian pair. So they've been pumping out some nice Dalmatians. But at the same time, if every one of them popped out 26 babies a year, that's a lot of work.
A lot of babies. A
Yeah,
lot of something. You got to sales or giving them away. You got to do something. You got to find
yep,
something to do with them. I tell people this all the time too, and everybody thinks I'm kind of being mean. Like when I'm like, do you have a plan for them? Like, you want to breed? Cool. I'm not telling you what's worthy of breeding and what's not. That's not my place. If you want to experiment, you want to breed, you want to make geckos, that's fine. I'm not judging anybody. However, what are you doing with the 50 babies you're going to make from those 3 pairs? What are you doing with them?
yep.
You're going to keep them, that's fine. Then you're going to pair all of those up in a year and a half, and then what are you going to do with those 200 babies? You
hmm
know?
And like in the beginning, when I first got into the Gargs, like I bought some that weren't expensive because I wanted to get some ready to breed ones so I can experiment and learn before I start breeding these high end ones. So I bought some mid tier ones, bred those the first season, and it still made me some nice babies, even though they're not super high end, they're still nice. But then I have ones that I bought that I was gonna pair up, but now that I got stuff that's better, it's like I'm not gonna just breed them just to breed and make babies. Like,
Sure. I mean, if you're vending, you have a right to, you want to, I mean, at least from my point of view, like Mark does it well. You want to have, you want to cater to the customers, right? So you want to have some affordable animals,
right.
some animals that are breed worthy, and then you want to have some investment quality animals. I mean, you just be doing yourself a service by having multiple products, if you will, on the table.
But even if you have 2 high end geckos,
This is
those
true.
2 geckos, not all 8 babies are going to come out fire. If you get half of them that are fire and half are not, you can't sell the ones that are not for the same price as the ones that are fire.
Very
So,
true.
and at reptile shows, most people are looking to spend anywhere from like 100 to maybe like $300 is the average. Anything over is mostly going to be like other breeders that are buying your stuff. And once in a while, you'll get someone that'll come through that'll buy a high end because they're, like I said, they're probably breeding at home
Yeah.
also. But other than that, like, that's why I'm like, I'll still have ones for shows that aren't going to be super high end. But then, because I haven't sold, like, the most expensive gecko I sold at a show, I think was $1,100, and it was an Exantic. And the rest usually average around 300, 2 to 300.
Are you
So,
bringing high end stuff to the shows?
well, honestly, right now, the only higher end stuff I'll bring is the Lily-White Xanthics. Everything else I'm still growing out. So starting end of this year, next year is when I'll start be selling some high end stuff. Because I have people hit me up on Instagram all the time. Hey, what do you have for high end? And I'm like, I got some like mid tier stuff, but all my high end stuff, I was like, I'm still growing out, and I'll have it some of that stuff released the end of this year, and then going forward. So, but this year, last year I only had 13 Garg females breeding, and this year I'm at 28. And then last year I had 6 Kretzy females, and this year I'll have 13.
Nice.
There'll be a lot more high end stuff getting offered next year for sure. So I just tell everyone, and then I got people who want to do trades, like, and they got some nice stuff, and they'll be like, "Yo, let's do trades," and I'm like, "I don't have nothing yet. Like, you're not gonna want anything that I have to trade. Like, just
Be
give me to the end of
surprised.
the year."
You'd be
So,
surprised. I'd rather trade all day than sell. If I'm being honest, I love trading animals. I'd rather trade any day than sell. I make money at my job. I don't, you know.
right. And another thing I'll do a lot is like when I start, because I'm gonna be pumping out a lot, and I'm cool with a lot of good breeders out there, so that want to do collaboration. So I don't have any issues on like, yo, I have this fire one, let's split the babies and see if we can create something even better. There's a few guys that I would love for you guys to try getting on your show, like Mr. Gargoyles, Matthew, and RR Gargoyles, Ricardo. They team up and they're out in California. And those guys, they got some nice quality geckos, and they're doing their thing out there. Also, Eddie that you had on, Sergeant Geckos,
Yeah, it's
he's
my
out in
buddy.
Arizona.
He's building a hell of a collection too.
Oh yeah,
Let's
for
see what he's
sure. Like
building.
he's always getting nice stuff. And I told him, I was like, bro, I told him, I was like, dude, you're doing it right. Like I should, like if I was to do it like him right off the bat, I'd probably have a lot even better stuff than I mean, I got good stuff, but I just wish I would have started right off the bat, like how he did. Like he's got all fire. And same with Bobby from Gecko Cove. He's got some killer stuff too. Like some fire. But yeah, man, I'm
Bobby.
excited because I mean, there's a lot of new guys coming up, and they got some hot stuff, and there's gonna be some sick looking gargoyles coming out in the next year or two. Like it's just getting really good, especially the last 2 years. It's just the stuff that's been being produced is just getting crazy looking. So
What are you only working with reds, or are you doing anything special?
So
Anything
with the
different?
guards, I like the bicolors. I like the red with the orange. It looks like almost looks like the gecko's on fire. I like that. I like the dark red where it's almost like a purple, which is like my Sundown's Brian's Mars line. I got a male and a female, and those ones are just ridiculous, and they pump out nice offspring. This year I got Pamela Gargison going. She's just saturated with and tons of color on her. So I'm stoked, man. This year is gonna be awesome. Like, and my stripes this year that I got going are gonna be really nice too. So
Do you have
yeah,
any
this year's
yellows?
gonna,
What do you know about these yellows? 'Cause I
so the
know
yellow.
Park scratching and talk about it.
Yeah, I don't have any yellows. I had a black and white, and it would fire up like a yellow in the base color. But I sold it at a couple shows ago. Like I like the black and whites, but I just like colors. So, but some of the black and whites are cool. Like if they get the black striping going down it too, and with the yellow. But I know Paul, he's trying to produce actual pattern that's yellow, not just the base color, and he's actually doing it. But yeah, I mean, like I
I'd
said, man,
love to
there's
see
gonna
black and white, like super, like skeleton blotches. I would love to see black ones with like white, like look like a real skeleton
that
on a black
that
gecko
would
or
be
something.
sick. I remember you talking about that on another show,
Yeah.
and yeah,
I
that would
think I
be
dream of it. I know what it would take to start, and I can't do that. But I'm dying for someone to do it. That's something I don't care what it costs. I'd buy. You know.
yeah, that they're pretty badass. But I definitely want to get like some more that have more of the face color. Like I've been hatching out a lot that have the eyebrows and a little bit of head color, but I want more color on the head for sure. So But like that Kotex sibling I got, Maxi Pad, that thing, oh, that's one of my favorites. Like David, I remember when he posted it on his Palm Street when he first started Palm Street. And I've always liked Kotex. Like I like it better than Tampax. When he had both of them, I remember seeing the picture a couple years ago. He put it on his Instagram, and I was like, I told my buddy, I was like, one day I'm getting one that looks just like Kotex or from that parent or whatever. And then when he had one listed, I was like, I was doing a cleaning, and I went to go text. I was like, how much? How much? And then my phone froze. And then finally it unfroze and someone put 3K. So I'm texting him on like his personal line, on Palm Street, on Wharf Market, on all these different things. I was like, I want it, I want it, I want it. Didn't hear from him till the next morning. He calls me. He's like, yo, you got time to talk? I was like, yeah. So he's like, you want it? And I was like, hell yeah, I want that one. And he's like, dude, this is probably top 5 best ones I released to the public. He's like, this thing's gonna turn out awesome. And I was like, hell yeah. And dude, best 3,000 I spent on a guard. That thing's just so sick. Definitely
Really
didn't
not that
disappoint.
bad when you think about it in retrospect compared to what some of these animals are going for. It's not a bad price at all for a all-star gecko.
For sure. Yeah, man. David's got awesome stuff. Like I said, Brian from Sundown, that dude's got some killer blotches. Like his blotch game is just such on point. Like he's got some amazing animals. He's such a good dude too. Like we always kick it when he comes to the Atlanta show for the Southeastern, and sometimes I'll do a couple Repticons. But whenever he comes, he knows I'm leaving with something, so he'll bring like a few gems with him for me to pick out. So at the last show, he knows I wanted a Bloody Mary, something from his Bloody Mary line. And so he brought one special one for me. He's like, I know you want Bloody Mary. Here's one. And I was like, I'll take it.
Those come from like Derek Dunlop and Frank Fast from back in the day, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so but yeah, dude, like, and he's like, dude, you got to come out to and check out my facility one time. And I was like, hell yeah, I definitely got to do that. Like, I told him, no, he's like, you'll geek out at my whole back rack for the Gargs. And I told him, I was like, you know, I'm leaving with one. He's like, just come and check it out, bro. He's like, I'll definitely make something happen. So I can't wait for that. He's a good dude, man. Like, I just wish he lived closer. Like, we have so much in common.
Where is he?
He's in right outside of Asheville, North Carolina. So it's about a 5-hour drive from my place.
That's not that far. That's a weekend trip, man.
Yeah, for sure. So I told him, and then usually there's a lot of reggae shows that go in. They have a good venue there. So he's like, dude, we'll catch a show. We can go check out the facility. And I was like, we've been saying this for the last couple of years. And I told him, I was like, this year I'm doing it. I was like, I'm coming. We'll make a weekend and I'll come and hang out. So
Actually, I saw something cool. If I'm not mistaken, didn't you go out to Cali to visit Sergeant?
So yeah, I went to Arizona. So I have family in Arizona.
Yeah.
I went to a wedding. So my wife's relatives are like, yeah, we're gonna go to Tucson for the day, and I was like, that's where Eddie's at. So I called Eddie. I'm like, yo, let's chill. Let's meet up. He's like, yeah, we'll meet up. So we met at a rooftop bar, hung out. I was a designated driver, so I didn't drink, which was a good thing because on the way back I got pulled over, and they made me do a eye test and this and that. And I'm like, dude, I go to him. I was like, bro, I'm not drinking. Everyone else is drinking.
Never do
I'm not
that.
bullshitting you.
Never
And
do
so he's doing this thing, and I'm getting all nervous and stuff. And I'm like, bro, just bust out the breathalyzer, get it over with, and we can both be on our way. So he's like, just do it a couple more times. So I did a couple more times. Then he busts out the breathalyzer. I blew zeros. And I was like, bro, I'm not bullshitting you. Like, so then he just let me off with a written warning. And I was like, cool, thank you. But yeah, man, I visited Eddie and we talked. We hung out for a couple hours, and yeah, he's a good dude, man. He's a cool guy for sure.
Very good dude. Very, very,
Mhm.
very humble, polite, respectful. Eddie's a good man.
Yeah, man, he works his ass off too. So
Yeah.
yeah, and then but I go to Oceanside, California every October, the second week of October. My aunt has a timeshare there, So last time I was supposed to meet up with Ricardo, but he was going to New York for vacation. And then I was gonna meet up with a couple other people, but the weekend that the day we were gonna meet up, they had the vice president come into town. So all the traffic there sucks. So when they shut down a highway, oh man, it's like the worst thing. So we couldn't meet up, but next year or this year when I go, we're all gonna definitely meet up and hang out. I think Kuz Geckos is out there. He's down to meet up. Ali from Godzilla Reptile. So
My
there'll
buddy
probably be
Kyle.
like five
Kyle's
or
another
six
good
of
kid.
us.
Yeah, Kyle's a good kid too.
Yeah. So but yeah, it's cool. Like I said, I'd move to Cali in a heartbeat, man. Like I just love the lifestyle out there, and the weather's perfect every day, and the food's good, and it's just so chill, man. Like could smoke, whatever, and it's like I love it
Cali's
there.
Cali's There's a few things I don't like about it personally, but the weather and the place, I mean, God, there's not much like it in the country. I mean, and I'm a huge fan of Florida too, but both very different. Florida is very tropical. Cali is more. I don't want to say it is tropical in a sense, Southern California, obviously, but it's not
Not
as
as humid
tropical
though.
as yeah, it's not as tropical as South Florida is.
Like you ain't sweating at nighttime like you're gonna
No,
sweat in
that's what I'm
Florida
saying.
at
It's
nighttime.
very summertime New England year round,
Yeah.
It's
Other than that, man, like, and then like I'm trying to get some merch going. It's just I'm trying to find a distributor for shirts because that shit's expensive. Like right now, to get a good quality T-shirt, like the Gildan shirts that are a nice heavy cotton that'll last for a while and that aren't thin and see-through, and then to get a thing printed on your front and on the back, I'm paying $18, and that's for extra large and under. And then if it's a double X, it's $2 more. So right now I'm paying $18 a shirt. I want to get it down to hopefully 10, and then I could sell them and make like I don't have to sell them for a huge price and be able to get rid of them. But
yeah,
yeah, I used the Chat GPT, and that's how I came up with my logo. I was gonna pay one of my buddies. Like I got a bunch of buddies down south that are artists, and they do all the graffiti and everything. I already knew I wanted a graffiti logo from the beginning, so I told my buddy, I was like, "Yeah, I just want Killer Exotics with like drippiness coming down from it, bubble letters." And my buddy's like, "Man, I'm just too busy right now," because he has a surfboard company and plus he has his regular job. He's just, "I'm trying to get my other thing going." I was like, "No big deal." So then my wife's like, "Try Chat GPT." One of my friends told me about it. And so the first thing I did, I typed in what I wanted, and that's the first thing that popped up. And that's exactly what I wanted. I was like, holy shit.
that's awesome.
So then that's how I got the logo. And then I was doing a show, I don't know, about 7 months ago, a Show Me Snake show. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, if you're willing to do tattoos, trade tattoos for geckos, here's my business card." And I look at his business card and it had a Garbage Pail Kid on it. And I was like, dude, that's pretty cool. And so I go home and I was like, you know what? I'm going to try this. So then I typed in, I like do a Garbage Pail Kid, and then I took a picture of one of my geckos. I was like, put this gecko doing this, and then add this, and but make it look like the same way a Garbage Pail Kid looks like, and then boom, started making the Garbage Pail Kids, and I was like, hell yeah, this shit's dope as hell. So then I just started creating them, and now I made like probably like over 300 of them easily. So every morning I'll post a new one every day. And then sometimes I'll try making it like if it's like a holiday, I'll do like Halloween. I did a bunch of like monsters and different horror films, and then stuff like that. And then I do pop culture. I'll do music, people, and just it's just cool. It's something to get like I enjoy doing it. And then I just had a big response of it. Like everyone kept messaging me, "No, those are
Be dope
badass.
for
Like those are
merch, man.
cool."
They'd be dope shirts, dude. They'd be dope. It's. I love them. I think that it would be. I think they do very very well as t-shirts or some type of line of something.
The only thing I'm afraid of is like the copywriting. But at the same time, if you go to fairs and stuff, you see people doing knockoff stuff all the
Everywhere,
time.
sure.
So
And those
I don't know.
laws
Like
are pretty. They're pretty. I don't want to say loose, but you customized something. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's only so much that they would be able to do. You know, your gecko is totally original. You didn't copy their unique design, right? You made your own. It's I think you'd be all right. I would look more into it, obviously, you know, than what I'm saying, but I think that you change it enough that you would not do bad.
Because like what I want to do is like get them in, like actual cards on cardboard, and then make packs and then sell them at shows. Or like maybe if you buy a gecko, you're gonna get this limited edition one that's printed, so people collect them. Like 'cause
Sure.
before I did reptiles, I collect sports memorabilia, and I've been doing that since I was in second grade. So I met tons of athletes, tons of celebrities. Like if you look at my autograph room, it's like my gecko room, but with all autographs. Like people are like, dude, this is like a fucking store. Like like
That's
I can't
awesome.
believe you have all this shit. But I was like, dude, I'm 42 years old or 43 years old. I've been doing it since second grade. Like all the time spending at stadiums and spring training and all at hotels and special events. Like they're like, you
You
gonna
get into
sell any of
selling that
this?
stuff?
What's
Do you
that?
ever get into do you ever get into selling memorabilia or anything?
I barely sold any of it because I don't need, like, to me, I mean, I still got all my video games from when I was a kid, all my Nintendo, Sega, all the systems, all the boxes, like everything. Like I never sold it because I was like, why am I going to go to GameStop and give this shit away for peanuts when I spent $50 $60 a game,
Hear
and they're going
that.
to give me $5 or $3 for a game? Like I might as well keep it.
I hear
And
that.
so I got all that stuff. I even have all my Garbage Pail Kids from back in the day in the
I
binder.
got boxes of CDs. I refuse to throw them
Me
out.
too.
I'm like, dude, I remember like going to Sam Goody and buying these damn things, man. I'm not throwing this
Bro,
shit in the
every
trash.
Thursday you would know something dope was coming out. And that's when you could put a CD in and listen to it from start to finish and all the songs wrote out. Now, I don't even consider now music. I don't know, like,
Definitely
especially
different. Do they
rap.
make
Rap
CDs
went
anymore?
downhill. Huh?
Can you even buy a CD if you wanted to?
I don't know. Maybe,
My
but not
car
as
doesn't have a
much as,
CD player. My car's got 5 USB ports, but I don't have a
They
single. There's no
they
CD player.
yeah. But like you said, it's like all the money I spent on them damn CDs. It's hard to throw them out, and I don't know. I'm with you. I got them all. Same with the DVDs. I have them all boxed up. Like, but some of those movies you can't even see on TV.
No,
So,
and they're not the same. You know, they digitally remaster stuff. I was watching the old Labyrinth the other day that I found on VHS Labyrinth,
uh-huh.
and I just wanted to see if it worked. So I went up to the attic, grabbed a VCR, plugged the thing in, hooked it up to the TV, and it worked. But I've watched the movie since. I've seen it on TV, and they cleaned it up so much that I mean, it doesn't really look new since they digitally remastered it, but it doesn't look like it does on VHS. Like it's just
Yeah.
not the same movie.
And like back in the day, movie magic. Like I was watching, what movie was I watching? Oh no, it was a TV show. Remember Dinosaurs?
TV show? I'm
Yeah,
the baby, gotta love you,
yeah, yeah,
baby.
yeah. I was watching that the other day, and I'm just like, man, like that stuff was cool. All that CGI crap now, I don't know.
TJIF, right? TJIF when they had Full House,
Yep.
Dinosaurs was on.
Mhm.
Full House. I forgot what other ones were,
And
but
that's
yeah,
the problem now. These kids watch all this dumb stuff on
all
TV.
day. Even that
When we
all
were
day.
growing up,
I got
you
to watch
watch
Stephen
Full
Wolfman.
House. Yeah, you watch Full House, Family Matters, and it's like it gives you like it it does something bad, but at the end it teaches you like what was good, you know? Like it
Yeah,
gives you morals at the end of the show.
sure,
Where now
sure.
watching Teen Mom and Jersey Shore ain't no morals, bro. Like
Even just
you
that, but you can't watch a kid. I mean, I watch a lot of, not recently, but before I got divorced, I was watching. My wife was whatever she is was babysitting, and it's just weird how what's they're trying to do. It's you'll watch cartoons, and I don't want to get political or controversial by any
whoa,
means,
to
but
the gargoyles, to the
you watch
gargoyles.
TV shows, and these cartoons are teaching children that they could pick their gender. Now,
Don't
what
that
adults do is what adults do, but you shouldn't be teaching 4-year-olds that you can decide what you are. That doesn't doesn't work like that. I mean, you can easily switch to National Geographic and that's out the window. It just cartoons, it just TV in general
Yeah,
is
but
not.
that's why I like the reptiles, because reptiles are reptiles. Like they've been the same thing for years. And when like if I wasn't doing reptiles, I don't know what the hell I'd be doing right now because
John, you said earlier that you prefer blotched over stripes,
Mhm.
and why so?
I feel like the stripes, all the striped ones, I mean, if you look at a striped gargoyle, most of them are going to look exactly the same. With blotches, they
No
all don't
two
look the
same.
exact same. Like some of them are going to have different patterns on them, different colors. There's a little bit more different. I don't know. I just like how the color spread is other than a stripe. Like I feel like they're just more colorful than
Do,
the stripes are.
have you hit any super blotches?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So I created a male. He's in my Instagram. His name is Cletus, and I produced him this year. And I was like, when I knew this one was going to be a nice one when it was growing up. I was like, please turn male, please turn male. He turned male, and the sibling turned male too, and it's a nice one also. And they look totally different. Like one has big, thick blotches going down its dorsal, and the other one is just like covered. Almost has like skeleton bands. Plus,
Did
it's
you know from hatch, or after a
yeah.
while you started?
You pretty much know. Like some of them, you can definitely tell, especially like after like a week or two. You can be like, yeah, that one's gonna be nice. And then and when I posted it as a baby, even Brian, he's like, dude, that one's gonna be dope when it gets bigger. So then when I was at the last show, I was like, Brian, remember this one you commented on? And I was like, it looked like this. He's like, oh yeah, yeah. I was like, you want to see what it looks like now? And I showed him. He's like, damn, that thing is nice. And I was like, yeah, bro. I was like, and that's what gets me excited. Like when you hatch out stuff like that, that's
Yeah.
that colorful and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
How are you making
That's
them? Have you found a rhyme or a reason? From all the people I've spoke to about Gargs making these super blotches, none of them have an exact equation they haven't cracked the algorithm, if you will, on how to make super blotches. Some people are pairing blotch to blotch. Some people are saying they're getting them out of two striped animals. Some people are
right.
saying the best bet is a stripe to a blotch. Like, have you found any type of connection or?
So what I do is, so the one that I got those nice males from, the parents, one of them came from Eclipse Exotics, the male, and then the
Which makes some heat.
female came from, actually, the female came from Redline Raptors, but Josh's Frogs produced, or was it Josh's Frog? No, Red Rack produced that one. So those are coming from good genetics. So when I bred those two together, they gave me some like she gave me for a gargoyle. She gave me 14 eggs last season and 12 hatched out. And I'd say 6 of the babies are fire, but the other 6 are totally opposite. Barely any color on them. You're like, what the hell? Like even when they're getting bigger, they're not even getting color. So it's either they're fire or the babies are not fire. But I mean, I still paired them up this season again to get it because I mean I'll take half and half like.
Sure.
And then I paired up Stripe with a Super Blotch last season, and I produced one where it has a stripe going down its back, and on the sides it looks blotchy, but it's almost in a stripe, but it has like a blotchiness to it. But you could tell that pattern's going to spread as the gargoyle grows bigger. So I've been seeing that happen. But yeah, I mean, like I said, this is my 4th season, so I'm still learning myself and trying to figure it out.
I don't think it ever
Nice.
stops. I think you can continue to learn. You'll learn something every year, and then as soon as you think you know something, you're
Yep.
going to get dealt a hand that's going to show you how much you didn't know.
So my mistake that I did this last season that I noticed is I was wondering, I was like, why am I getting babies that have a slight curve in their back of their neck going down their spine a little bit. They grow out, they're still eating and pooping stuff. When I sell them as pet only for super cheap at the shows. Basically for like kids that the parents, they don't want to spend the money. but they want to gargle. And I tell them, like, here's one. It's eating, it's pooping, it's perfectly fine. Just has a little slight curve in its neck. For the price, I mean, if you're only having it as a pet, I don't recommend breeding it. And then, so I sell them for like 50, $75. And so then, I was noticing I probably got like 7 or 8 babies. And then I asked Sam, I was like, I think I'm gonna ask Paul about this. I was like, I think what I was doing was I have them in deli cups, the eggs. I'll put 2 eggs in a deli cup. What I was noticing is sometimes the lid gets the moisture on the lid. And so the moisture on the lid, as the egg starts to get bigger and expand, it's starting to touch the top of the lid. And when the lid gets wet, the egg's getting wet on the top of the egg. And usually the gecko is laying in the egg like this, where its back is up top. So I'm thinking the water is creating that slight curve onto its back. So this year, I'm instead of using deli cups, and also the deli cups have like 6 holes in it, so the hatchite would dry out a lot faster. So I would go in there and not get the egg wet, but just put a little bit of water around it to get the rocks wet again. And what I'm learning is doing that also, if especially at the last end of their cycle in the egg, that can also mess up their incubation. So this year I'm going strictly to the Pangea trays. I'm gonna moisten up all my hatchite, drain it, put it in there, and then keep them in there and make sure that the eggs aren't touching the top of the lid. And when I started doing it like that, they all been coming out a lot better. So that's one thing that I'm pretty sure was creating that little arch in its top of its neck back area.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
Same pair? Was it the same pair that made all 7 of them?
No, it was 3 different pairs. So, and it wasn't every baby, it was just a couple babies here and there. And I'm like, it has to be that. So,
You'll find the common thing
because
in
like
that
I
whole
was gonna get an
situation.
incubator because I thought maybe like the room temperature, because my room temperature stays the same. Like depending on the time of year, it'll be at like 68 for the cool down, and then it'll be up to 82 in the summertime. So I was thinking I was thinking maybe it had to do with the change of temperature at certain times of the year that was causing that. But then when I was talking to Sam and a couple other people, and I was telling them about how I kept them in the deli cups and they're drying out, and sometimes the moisture could be dripping on the egg, they're like, try doing it with the trays and don't let the eggs hit the top of the tray. And don't, because when you use the trays, there's really not that many whole airflow in there in those trays. Like with the other things, I had the dots in the deli cups that had the holes in it, so that was making them dry out a hell of a lot faster. Because I was like, David would be saying like, you only have to wet this one time, and it should pretty much last the whole entire time.
It's
When I
the
started doing,
the holes in your deli cups. I know people that use the deli cups, they will cover most of them and probably just leave one hole on each side
yep.
so the air flows through. You
And
know?
that's what I did. Like once I started realizing the ones I still had in cups, I put tape around the holes except for 2, like you said. And so we'll see what happens. I still got like 55 eggs cooking right now, and then I got females ready to drop for this season anytime. So
Are you digging them in the incubation media, or are you just placing them on top?
I mean, I'll put like a tiny little indent so they can't roll,
Okay.
and just drop them right on top, just like that. And I'll just put a little mark on top for the cherry to know that the egg's supposed to be straight up. So yeah.
Have you been pairing any stripes with blotches and stuff like that?
Yep. And like I said, I got that one that has a dope stripe going down its dorsal, and then the side will
And
have
then
like the blotching,
and you
which
seeing
is
it?
pretty cool.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know, what you thought of it.
So like I bought one from Brian at Sundown. It's his Caliber line, and where it creates the thick stripe on its like the stripes on its back, and then the sides will have blotching, and that's what that pair's known for doing. So I got a male from him, and then I got like the female I'm growing out that has the line down its back and sides. That'll be a future pair that I'll see if I can create that same thing going forward.
That's
I
interesting.
mean, there's just still so much more to like.
Ah, you,
Now that there's more people buying them and there's more getting bred, like it's only a matter of time before new stuff's gonna start popping.
oh
I
yeah.
think that's one of the most exciting things about the whole guard game right now is all the stuff that is yet to be done. I mean, there's so much that's bound to happen. It's just a numbers game. And you're finally getting the numbers. It'll start.
For sure.
Are you importing anything like different bloodlines from anywhere?
I haven't yet. That's on my list that I want to do soon. Like I've been seeing some nice ones getting imported from Korea. That's like where I'll see a lot of the head color stuff coming from is over there.
Because I know you said you like
But I haven't
the
yet.
red with the orange. They're working with the orange in Europe a lot, right?
Yeah, they do a lot of orange there. I got some stuff that stays orange that produces orange too, which is cool. But like I like that orange and red, the bicolor
Yeah.
stuff. I just got a mail again from the last show at Sundown. And yeah, this it's a bicolor. It's pretty cool. It has the skeleton pattern too. So, but yeah, man, like it's exciting for sure.
That's interesting. That's interesting. What's the most exciting pair that you have that people should know about and be waiting for the new year? I know you're saying next year, next year. What's the
Yeah.
one that we got to look out for? Gargzilla?
Nah, this guy, he's retired, man. This
Oh,
guy's
okay.
so this. Well, I'll get back to that question, but this guy right here was the first gecko I bred with a female from my first time pairing up. Dude got a prolapse. So, yeah, my first time ever pairing up gargoyles. And I'm like, damn. And I couldn't, like, I called Paul, and Paul's telling me what I do. And he's like, if you can't get it back in, just bring it to the vet. And I was like, all right. So I tried everything he told me. When it go back in, bring it to the vet. The vet's like, I can't get it back in. We got to amputate it. So I was like, all right. So he was done for a season. I still got a few babies from the female that he hooked up with. So I gave him the year off. The next year, I was like, I heard you could still breed even though they have one hemipene. So I was like, I throw him in with the same female, gets another prolapse. I'm like, you got to be shitting me. I couldn't get it back in. Vet couldn't get it back in. Said, dude's dickless. Like
No
he's
wonder. Well, no wonder why he's sitting there like that. I'd be sitting there like.
yeah. So he's chilling. So like, and it was weird too because like when I was bringing him to the vet, it's like he sensed that he knew I was helping him, and ever since then he's been like my best buddy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, he just knew I was helping him out, and so I was like, I can't get rid of this dude. So you're just gonna be like, because I saw Paul brings his geckos to the show so people can hold them. So I'm like, he's basically gonna be like how Paul's baked potato is.
Yeah.
Yeah, little potato. So that's what he is, and everyone loves him, and he just chills. And I was like, I can't get rid of him. He's just my buddy. I'll have him forever. So
And what about Phantom Eyes, John? Like, are
I
you
don't,
you don't
I don't care.
subscribe?
It's just, it's such a waiting game for that. Like I got two. I bought a male ready to breed from Bobby. He retired. I think it was Proslin is the one I bought from him, and
Oh, you
I
got
renamed
Praslin?
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
So,
cool.
but I think he's turning Phantom Eye. He's starting to get some black on one of his eyes. And then I had Black Cherry, and she was produced by Eclipse, and one of her eyes is starting to go black. But it's like, I asked Paul, I go, if you're to put two Phantom Eyes together to breed, will you get Phantom Eyes? And he's like, he goes, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. And it's like, I don't got time for that game. And like,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
never really got into them. Like, and most of them that you see, they're not like on fire looking geckos. Like most of the ones you see with Phantom Eyes, like there's a couple you'll see that are fire, but most of them are just regular gargoyles that have Phantom Eyes. So I don't know. It's just too much of a, because it could take up to 5 years to get that Phantom Eye. And it's like, that's just a long, long haul.
Yeah, that's
So, but to go back to what I'm most excited for this season, I was hoping that I had my Snoop Garg was going to be ready to breed, but I think I'm going to give him one more year to keep growing because males, he's at 48 grams. I like to get him at least 50 because the males, some of them tend to lose weight once they go into breeding. Some of them don't. Like I got some males that will eat. I can put them in with a female. He'll breed with her, take him out, put him in with another female, and he'll be fine and keep eating. And then you got some that you'll take out and they may not eat. So you got to put them back in their enclosure, get them a little fat. But I only have like maybe one or two males that do that. The rest of them are good. Like they're solid eaters. I can just put them in different. I don't do groups. I do one-on-ones because I want to know the lineage. So eventually I just want to do one male to one female and have all like every cage have 1-to-1. And unless I want to breed like two females to one, but other than that, like that's my goal is to have one-on-one. Like
You
each
you
cage.
haven't had no aggression issues with the one on
I
ones?
did. You got to keep an eye. For the most part, a lot of them are pretty good. I had one guy, Carnage. I left him in. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna just see how they do keeping them. That was the first time I kept two together all year round. Well, he was an aggressive breeder. She didn't want it. And he ended up biting the top of her head and got her eye, and her eye was all like green and shit with gunk. And I had to bring it to the vet and get antibiotics and stuff. Now it's better. It's just a little bit darker because when they get eye injuries, their eyes sometimes will be darker color. And some people will think, oh, it's turning phantom, but nah, it was an injury. It's not turning phantom. But yeah, that was the only thing. Other than that, this last year I had about 8 males stay with the females, and everything's been good. So then it's one less cage I got to clean also. As long as they're getting along and everything's good, I'll keep them in together all year round. But there's a couple that at the end of the year I'll put in their own just to get them fattened up a little bit before the next season.
You running cages like terrariums, or do you run bins?
I do all bins. Yeah, for right now I do bins. Eventually I want to get into some racks, but the racks, like if I did get racks, I'd probably only put Gargs in the racks. I like having the tops for the Cresties, especially the babies get a little crazy. And then if they're sticking up top and you pull the bin out, I'm afraid that you're gonna like clip one or something pulling the bin out. So I'll probably always like. Some people are like, man, bins are just, they take so much longer. If you had rack systems and it'll cut your cleaning and this and that, and your feeding quicker and this and that. Me, I don't mind it. Like as of now, like I just like the bins. It keeps the humidity in better. I keep my room at 74% ambient humidity at all times. It may go down a couple, may go up a couple. And then the temperature always stays the same. I got a split unit in the garage. And so
So you're spraying them by hand then in bins, right? You're spraying the bins by hand and everything?
yeah, so another mistake I was doing last year is I think I was over misting because if my ambient humidity is staying at 74 and I was misting twice a day, I was noticing I was getting shed issues on the baby's cresties. So once I started misting like just once every other day instead of twice a day every day and just do it once, like when I feed them, that's when I'll mist them. They're fine. They're perfectly fine. So
You just mentioned crested geckos and gargs. Is there anything you do differently? Do you do anything differently in the way you, other than breeding? Well, even at that, what do you do differently with your gargoyles versus your crested geckos? Or do
honestly,
you
it's
just treat them
pretty.
all the same? Do you run everything the same?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same, honestly. The thing I noticed between the Cresties and the Gargs is the Cresties will definitely take bugs a lot easier than the Gargs. With the Gargs, I try getting them on bugs when they're small. Like not when they're super small. I usually wait like a couple months and then I'll start introducing them to crickets. But if you wait and you wait till they get older, it's so much harder to get them to eat bugs. So I try getting them when they're smaller to get on
You ever
the
tried feeding your gargs anything else like feeder geckos
yeah, like I'll get some
or any? I don't know
geckos
what else
that don't
people feed
make
them.
it, like the babies, and I'll feed it to some. The gargoyles will take them.
Different feeding response, huh?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'll do it on that, but mostly like I'll feed the Pangea. I'm gonna start trying that Vitameal for the cricket one because it has a lot more protein in it. So for the gargs that are hard to get on bugs, especially some of the breeders that won't eat it, I'm gonna try that and see maybe if I get a better like.
That's my biggest problem with them too, is that they're known scientifically, let alone me. They're known to be a high protein consuming species, but none of mine will take bugs. They don't want bugs. They so it's one of those tricky things. I'm just always curious as to what people do to compensate for that. How do you go about pumping protein into an animal that needs protein but won't take the protein source we have?
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I mean, I've been hearing a lot of good things about that Vitamil. So I just ordered some, so I'm gonna be mixing that with the Pangea. Because right now I'll feed them Pangea. Usually they like the red bag, and I mix it with the growth and breeding. Usually like a little bit more of the red bag, and I say like a 60-40 mix. But then once I get the Vitamil, I'll probably chill out on the growth and breeding and just add the Vitamil to the.
Who makes that? I haven't really looked much into it. I see it pop up once in a while.
So I think you
How
can
is it
get.
spelled? VITA, just Vitamil?
Yeah, and ibexotics.com. They're the ones that you can get it from. And you can become
Who makes
a
it though? Oh,
wholesaler too.
New Skin. No, is that wrong? Is a nutrient dense fortified food designed by New Skin. New Skin to combat malnutrition. No, this is for children. What the fuck?
I want to say someone in Korea invented this
Is it
food.
Korean or I
I
was thinking it was I thought it was European.
I want to say I'm not 100%, but I think it's from Korea. They're the
Vitamil's
ones.
from Korea. Blue River Diets, I think, is European.
But yeah, I definitely want to give that a try because, like I said, like I would rather have my females that don't eat bugs eat that so they get more protein. Then maybe they'll lay more eggs and have
Do you
better
do you
fertile.
use calcium dishes with your breeders?
So what I do is I put the Pangea, squirt in the little bottle cap, and then I'll sprinkle a tiny bit on top of the thing. I don't mix it directly into the thing. I just put it on top because if you put a little bit on the top, they're gonna eat it off the top, so you know they're gonna get it. Sometimes with them calcium dishes, when I tried it, it gets so messy, and then it's like paste because you missed the cage, and here they're getting it. I can see they're getting it because they're eating the food. So I've been doing that now. The first season I didn't do it, and then after the first season I started doing it, and I was getting a lot better eggs for sure.
Yeah, that's why I asked. Same thing when I first started with it. I noticed the difference.
For
I
sure.
noticed
And
the
then
difference.
I didn't start feeding crickets to my geckos until after the first year because back in the day when I used to get crickets in Florida, my room smelled. I used to get like 4,000 crickets at a time, 5,000. And you go in there and I'd have them in the walk-in closet and bins and it would just smell. So then I was like, damn, I don't want to deal with that smell. But then they got the banded crickets that don't really have that odor like the regular crickets. So
Way better.
so then I
Way
got those
better.
because I was listening to all the podcasts, like your podcast. I listened to Gecko Pod, and they're like, "Yeah, you gotta feed insects to the geckos." And I was like, I knew I had to in the back of my head, but like I said, I didn't want to have the smell. But then when I found out about the bandit and I started getting them, dude, what a difference! They grow so much quicker. I feel like the gargoyles, their colors pop more once they start eating the crickets. Like,
Even a little discoid roach colony. You get yourself a little discoid roach colony, and you could start them off on some roaches early. I mean, you got to hand feed them and stuff, but it helps. It doesn't smell at all.
yeah,
It
yeah, well, yeah, I got well, I don't have what were the red runners you're talking about?
no. I can't mess
He's
with red
talking about
runners.
the
Discoids.
dubia
Oh yeah, I
alternatives.
got a whole colony of those in the
Okay,
garage.
okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So, because I got 5 bearded dragons, 8 tortoises, and then
Oh,
almost 300 geckos now.
oh, Yeah. That's why I say it helps out to have a little colony and they don't smell at
No,
all.
they don't.
My
Nope.
wife
And the
kicked
wife,
out the crickets and she was like, "Yeah, keep the roaches. That's fine."
This
yeah,
stuff
because
sounds incredible, by the way. This
like,
food sounds, everything about this sounds
uh-huh.
incredible. This food, I'm reading about the food. It sounds incredible.
Like
Like
my
they
wife,
harvest their own bugs to make their food. They don't source it and buy it from someone else. They raise the feeders to harvest for their food mixes.
hmm
To me, that's huge.
for sure.
Have you tried Repashy though?
So I did, and they like because Repashy doesn't have as much sugar in it than Pangea. Pangea definitely has more sugar in it, and of course they're gonna like the sugar. When I first got into it, like I didn't really know much about the Repashy. I knew about like I was told about Pangea, so that's what I started with. And then trying to get them to go on the Repashy after they're already on Pangea is like it's a pain in the ass. So I just stuck with what they like, and I kept telling myself, you know what, this year I'm gonna get Repashy because, and my theory is. When you have a baby and you put that Repashy in there from the beginning, they don't know no better. They know that's the only food that they know, so they're going to eat it. So eventually, yeah, I rather have them be on Repashy, tell you the truth, because it's definitely healthier. I noticed with the Pangea, some of the geckos will start getting fat, so you got to really like cut the portions down. Because I don't like fat geckos. Like I don't mind big geckos, but fat geckos, it's just not good for their joints and stuff. So, but then I had Pinky. I just sold her at the last show, and dude, she was 97 grams. And I couldn't get this girl to lose weight for nothing. I'd feed her once every 2 weeks. I would get her and try getting her to move on my hand, give her some exercise. I try feeding her bugs to maybe get her to move, and she wouldn't eat bugs. But someone told me it could be a thyroid issue possibly in her, but I tried everything I could. I knew I wasn't going to breed her, so I just sold her and I told the person, I was like, she still lays dud eggs being that big. I just never tried breeding her. So someone else bought her. I think they're going to try to breed her and see what happens, but yeah.
With something like that, let me ask you, just out of my own personal curiosity, did you try like maybe keeping her warmer in
Oh
higher
yeah.
temps? Yeah. And that didn't
Yeah.
work neither?
Mm,
No?
no. I tried that, man. Like I said, I tried cutting her food portions, and man, it was just nothing. I mean,
Yeah.
nothing I could do. She lost like point 0.1, and I'm like,
That's not enough, girl. That's not enough.
yeah. But it's crazy. Like, when I posted her like 2 months ago, I got the most views from that post of her than any of my gargoyles. Like I got, it was like 28,000 views, 600
Oh shit.
likes, and I'm like, dude, I got shit that's way cooler looking than this fat pink girl, and she gets all these views. Like
It's
it's just
weird
weird how
like that. It's weird.
Instagram
Pull
works.
her
It
up,
really
Yeah,
Ant.
is,
Pull
man.
her up. Let's see her. Let's see her. Pull her up. He could pull her up on the screen. We just learned something cool today. Put it to work.
let's see.
Boom.
Yeah, it should be this one.
Where is she?
It's this one right here. Big old.
All right.
Yeah, if you keep
Pink.
going down a look, that's her fired up. But the one that's further down where she's
Damn.
pink,
She's a
Jesus.
bit.
yeah, she got more rolls in a bakery, man. She's big. But like
But you got her
think
that way, or you hatched that one.
nah, I bought her, but I bought her as like a well-started juvenile. If you keep going down, it'll a little bit more right there in the middle, right there. That's the one. Got
Yeesh.
28,000 views, and I'm just like, I couldn't believe it.
She's a chunk.
Yeah, she's big. She's super chill and sweet too.
Damn.
Yeah, she's
And you
big.
sold her, you said?
Yeah, there's a lot of. So it was funny. The lady, I brought her to the last two shows, and I usually just bring her just so people, because she's really pink and she's really big, and you always get the people that point like, dude, that one's a big girl, da da da. So then this one lady, she saw her the first show and really liked her and didn't pull the trigger. And then she saw her the second show. And what was funny is she's like, hold on, let me take a picture and put her in my group chat. So she takes a picture and she asks her buddies about this gecko. And one of her friends was like, oh, that's Pinky from Killer Exotics. And dude, everyone around the table just started cracking up laughing. I'm like, damn, I didn't know she was that popular.
How it is, man. Like Potato from Paul.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone knows Potato.
Oh, yeah.
She's big, boy.
I mean, why would you? I mean, if you're, if you wanted like a breeder, I guess it's probably not ideal. But if you just wanted like an awesome pet, I mean, who doesn't love a chubby puppy or a fat little kid? I mean, it's awesome.
I mean, she was so fat, she had a roll on the base of her tail, dude. Like, someone's like, is that a rejuvenated tail? I was like, nah, that's just a fat roll that makes it look like.
That honestly could have
Awesome.
been a great mascot for you moving into the future. Like, honestly,
dark
thinking
brown.
about it right now.
So
Oof.
that one's breeding this season for the first time, but she don't look that dark when she's fired up like in that picture anymore. It's weird how some of them will look good when they hit a juvenile, and then when they get older, sometimes they don't look like, I don't know, but the one there's a super fire.
Do they
But
all
that
have
one,
that color on them? Like I thought, what is the color about on the back, on the dorsal?
it's like, it almost looks like graham cracker dust on its back. It's like a yellowy brownish color.
Do they all have that, or do all supers have that, or is that?
Yeah, all the supers pretty much have it. Some will be a little bit lighter, but they'll have it.
Interesting.
Now, the one that I told you right there that you're clicking on right there, that's Cletus. That's the one that I produced that. Yeah, that thing's just sick. And that's an older picture of it. But that colors just keep on spreading on its back.
Crazy.
See, I like this.
So yeah, that's
my
Pamela
style.
Gargison.
I love this style.
Yep.
That's a super blotch, right?
Yep. She's going to be breeding for her first time this season.
So what's the difference between a super blotch and a skeleton blotch? Are they basically the same shit?
Yeah, basically the same. It's just a skeleton has more like the term, like the names are just weird, man. Like like the real skeletons would be a thinner, it
Yeah.
almost looked like rib cages. And then now they're calling skeletons with even thicker blotches, where I think it's more banded when it gets thicker.
So would this be a skeleton blotch?
What's the other one with the
I
holes on
wouldn't.
the?
What was that?
What's the other one that they have with the holes on the side that you
The
were
Bacon
saying?
Line, Clown Project, or Bacon Project. A couple people have.
Oh, you mean
different
like with
projects.
the stripe
Yeah,
and the blotching?
yeah, like the circles on their side. They call
I
them like the
know.
Bacon
yeah.
Line or the Clown
Yeah, I
Project.
don't have any of those ones yet. The clowns. So there, the middle one right there, below, above the super fire, that's Pamela Gargison fired up.
So it almost, in a
She look,
sense, loses the blotchiness and becomes like a back.
white.
It doesn't. It's interesting.
It's just the blotch is taking over, so it's basically painting the entire gecko eventually.
Huh? Yeah, she just like that one. She's one of my favorites. I remember when I got her, I just knew she was going to be special.
This dude is freaking cool as hell. What's this?
Yeah, that's Oreo. That's the lily white exanthic
that's him.
female.
That's the one. I love that gecko.
Yeah, I love that head on her, man. Like, it's just, and the white on her is just ridiculous. But all the babies look pretty much just like her. And then not that one. That's Joker. So that's the one I got from Sergeant Geckos that Mauricio produced from Gecko
Gecko
Monster.
Monster, it's my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's El Joker right there.
His animals, and I don't know what it is. Again, I'm not like a Garg aficionado by any means, but Mauricio's reds almost have this orangish. They're just different. Like I can look at a group of animals and usually pick Mauricio's Gargs out. They have a different.
And when they have that color right there, especially when they're small, you know they're going to be fire. That's like that color in when it almost looks like it's painted in layers.
It's like, yeah, it's just saturated differently. It's just different type of saturation. Did you produce this?
That's a skeleton right there, right? Oh, sorry.
That one right there was produced by Koala's Geckos, but I bought from I made a trade with TC Geckos. Yeah, that was produced by Koala, which he's got some amazing geckos.
Which one were you looking at, Mark?
That
This
one right
right?
there.
That's
Yeah,
skeleton.
that's a skeleton.
That would be considered, yeah, like where it has more of a thinner lines that looks like a rib cage going with the pattern.
What
Gotcha.
the hell did I just do? Oh, I clicked that. That's actually really freaking cool.
Yeah, that is.
And then that one right there is a caliber that I was telling you about, Sundown, where it has his stripe and blotch mix. That's what it makes. It makes the stripes on the back and the sides has like the blotchy look.
Is this still considered red? Is that what they call these dark burgundy-ish looking ones? Is this still what would you call that if you wanted to go buy this? Just a dark red, or is there a different name for it?
It just has more saturation to it. So
Almost
it's like a darker.
purple.
It's like a purpley red, like
blood.
I love it.
Yeah, it's a nice shade for sure.
Oh, look at this one. That's how I like. That's the same animal.
Yeah, it's fired
Oh,
up and
shit.
fired down. So that's the Mars line from Sundown. That
King
thing's
Gargashian.
she left. She actually laid for her first dud eggs last night.
Now, what does that mean for you? When an animal lays duds, is there anything? Are you waiting just for duds, or are you waiting for?
So for my females, I like. So if they're laying duds and they're 50 grams or over by 2.5 years old, I'll breed them. If they haven't laid duds and they're not at weight, then I wait till 3 years.
You know, I have one female Garg, and she didn't lay duds until she was like 3. She didn't lay a single egg till she was like 3 years old.
But yeah, I like to even though they lay duds and they're younger, like around 2, I still think they're not fully developed yet. So if you go to the left up top,
my left, your left.
Yeah, right there. That's the one that's the one that is Cletus, that when it was a baby that Brian was like, that one's gonna be far.
Yeah, that looks nice. It's got.
I wish I could say he had an eye, but it's kind of obvious.
Yeah. So yeah, that when they come out like that and they have that much when they're small, you know you have a good chance of it's gonna turn out really nice.
See, this is awesome to me, where everything's just red. Like is this that?
And that dude actually changed like orange. He went from red to like an orangey red. That one.
He's got a look for sure. I don't know what it is, but it's got like a layers.
He's got that color all the way down to his nose, his head color, and everything.
That's a beautiful gecko.
Like him, he's at age, but I want to get more size on him before I breed him. Like,
do you find there's much sexual dimorphism? Do the females have the tendency to be larger than the males do, or do you find it?
Nah, it's all genetic. Like I got big males, big females. And then it's weird, like when you buy Paul's babies, they tend to be they grow a little slower and they're not as big. But then when you have Paige from Cosmic Exotics, she got ones that they grow quick and they grow big, but they're not fat. They're just big gargoyles.
What's the
So
average weight of your Garg, like a mature Garg?
An average weight probably between 50 and 60 grams. I got ones that go a little higher.
are you seeing a big difference with horns and snout to tail length in all of these different gargoyles? Are you seeing the horns diminishing, like being very small? And are you seeing the lengths of the gargoyles being shorter? Or are you just noticing weights?
Weights. I like you'll notice smaller gargs that come from like Europe. They're a little bit smaller in structure than the ones that we have here in the United States.
Oh yeah? Horns,
Um,
horns too?
not so much about the horns. A lot of my gargs have good horn structure. I've only seen a few that the horns aren't really that great, but for the most part, pretty much all mine have good crowns on them. But yeah, that one right there, that one's so cool looking. And she's the one that gives me a lot of the pink offspring.
Hmm. What is that? Is that a gene or a morph, or is it just a phenotype?
Well, that one right there has no stripes. It's just a retic, and it has like no blotching. Like when it's fired up, it looks like it has a stripe, but it doesn't. But it's just, yeah, it's pretty. The one that Bill just bought off me looks just like that same one.
So you consider that like pastel, right?
Yep. So yeah, that is my room.
Clean.
Yeah, when my wife she'll show some of her friends that never seen it that heard about the room, and they'll walk in, they'll be like, "It doesn't even smell like you have a bunch of reptiles in here at all."
I love that. I love that,
Yeah.
bro. That's one of my favorite things when people come to my house. They're like, "You have all of these reptiles. It doesn't smell." Them, and my wife is like, "Now I know why you're such a freak." I love that.
I tell people I was like, man, I clean houses for a living, so I'm like, man, my reptiles live cleaner than people that I clean their houses. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I got OCD and I'm a neat freak, so everything has to be in order. So that's an Exanthic female that I got last season. But see how her head isn't that big like that?
Yeah. That's selective breeding for you.
I have an Exanthic named Onyx also that I got. It was named
Dope.
Onyx already from AE.
So yeah, that's Cheetah right there. Her and Nippy, or no, Hercules be giving me some nice babies this year too. She's from Eclipse from Kelly.
How do
So
you go
that's
about picking your names? My bad.
So names, I like to come up with stuff that's like different, and I don't know. I like pop culture a lot and stuff like that. I don't know. It's like I'll just try finding fun names for them. Like
another
with Kim,
skeleton.
like Kim Kardashian. I also have Chloe and Courtney, and all three are super blotches from Sundown. So he gets a kick. He's like, "That's fucking awesome! All the ones you got for me, the nice ones are all Gargashians."
And Gargman Electra.
Yep.
I'm seeing a pattern, John.
That ludicrous. Yeah, so that's the male that I upgraded that didn't have any dots but doesn't have a tail. And also what I noticed is when you pair up chill gargoyles, the babies are gonna be chill. when you got like two geckos that are crazy, most of the time the babies are going to be crazy like the parents. So that's why I try to breed geckos that are more chill.
So what? This is a pair here.
Yep.
What would be the goal of this pair? Just stripes, or is there a reason why you put the two different types of reds together? Is there
Yeah, I'm trying to get nice thicker stripes and they're so the one on the right has better lateral stripes than the one on the left. So I figured since she has better, maybe the babies will produce better stripes, which they it's either they're gonna look like the mom or the dad. It's crazy. So one of the babies I hatched out had a lot of head color from that pair and really nice thick back stripe, like thicker than it looks better than the parents for sure. But yeah, like I like parent like sometimes you'll see like the stripes on the side, like some of them will be perfect like lined out, and then you'll have some that are like almost like curvy, and those ones tend to spread more than the ones that are perfectly straight on for the laterals. Yeah, so I paired that one up with a super blotch. So and the babies are coming out all right. So I think I'm gonna next year pair up a stripe with that one. So it's like sometimes it's hit or miss.
is the goal to ultimately get them to for their dorsal to close in, or do you like to keep two separate lines?
I like both. Sometimes though, when you get that closed in where it looks like one giant stripe, it looks
Yeah.
pretty damn cool. That's one that is a holdback from 2 years ago. So next year she'll be ready to breed. I almost sold her, but the guy never. He's like, I'll take her, but then he never replied back, and I'm like, I'm just gonna keep her now. Like I'm glad I didn't sell her. But then there's like
So look, those are giant stripes.
yep. That's the same female that was in where that pair was that we just looked at
Oh.
a minute ago. But it was crazy. That one, a guy from Tennessee sold me that one, and then a super blotch that Paul produced. And he literally drove 8 hours round trip to deliver them to my house because he was afraid to ship them. I was like, dude, I couldn't believe he drove an 8 hour trip to drop off two geckos.
I just found out of a service the other day. The guy started his business dealing with hots, like poisonous snakes, but now he does everything. He drives across the country, and that's literally what he does. He drops off reptiles to people's doorsteps. It's not a shipping service. He picks them up from designated houses on specific dates, and he has a whole roster of cities he's going to be on specific dates. He picks up and drops off, and he just goes back and forth driving across the country. It blew my mind. Yep. And he charges $125 to pick it up from your doorstep and drop it off at someone else's doorstep.
Yeah.
That Kotek sibling there, you got that as a baby?
Yeah, Kotek, yeah, that Maxi Pet, yeah, I got her as a baby. It was probably only like 6 or 7 grams when I got it.
Where is it? Which one did I went? This one?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that was when I first not when I first got it, but after a couple months when it started growing a little more. Yeah, that thing's just ridiculous.
It was orange as a baby, or
Yeah, it
red?
had it had a little bit of orange, but it still had red on its back.
Mm.
The side laterals were like orangey.
You could kind of see it like fading away, turning red, right?
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing, like you'll get geckos that are orange and then it just turns into red, but then sometimes you'll get it to stay orange. But most of the time it turns red.
Hmm.
So if the baby hatches out and it shows orange, it can sometimes turn red. If the baby hatches out and shows yellow, does it turn orange?
Yeah, it could turn orange and then it can turn red from the orange too.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Mm-hmm.
There's no telling until. That's nice.
Yeah, it
That
is.
looks. That color is crazy.
That
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Those blue eyes. This thing is insane.
Yep. She's the one that produces the pink pastels for me.
Mm, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, that's more like a skeleton right there.
So you get the skeletons from pairing stripes with blotches, or is it?
I got those skeletons from Two Stripes. And it comes so my female, her name's Titty Sprinkles. She
What's her name again? I
Titty
couldn't hear you.
Sprinkles. So she, when I first bought her, she laid an egg and it was fertile, and I didn't pair her up with anybody. And this is the one that hatched out right there. So then when I paired her with a male the next season for the first time that since I've had her, she produces. It comes from her, I know for sure, because I'll get those skeleton patterns on few of the offsprings. So this year I put a different male in with thicker stripes on its back to see if I can bring out that skeleton pattern even like more saturated, even thicker of a color. So we'll see what happens this year. I already got 2 eggs from that new parent. Hopefully they'll be better than the last few babies.
That's nice.
And these things are cool.
Yeah, so with Oreo, when I pair her up, dude, it's like I hit the jackpot with her. Out of the first season, I think out of 8 babies she gave me, 6 out of 8 were lily white exanthics. And then this year, out of the 14 I got, I want to say 11 of them are lily white exanthics. So she just pumps out the lily whites more than the visuals.
It's a great problem to have.
Oh, for sure. And that's Titty Sprinkles right there. And it's weird how she's the one that produces the skeleton patterns when looking like that. And then she's always dark like that. I never seen
They're
her
so
fire down
dark.
ever.
What's
Like I've
what's
had her
the?
now for
I was about to
what
say,
was that?
what's the oldest gargoyle you have?
Probably like 6. Yeah, probably like 6. So that one, that top left one more up. Yeah, that's Nippy right there. That's been giving me some killer stuff with Lawanda. Where I got those that one holdback male. That's the dad right there. That's from Eclipse Exotics. I bought that one and 2 other super blotches from her as babies, and I spent like $1,000 each on them. And then 2 out of the 3 turned male, which I was happy for.
Have you found any proof or any evidence at all towards that male maker theory?
I believe Paul. With the male maker thing. I got I don't have any that produce 100% males, but I got like Titty Sprinkles. She'll produce more males than females that I'll get, but I do get females. But I really don't want a male maker in my collection, to tell you the truth.
You don't?
Nah, And if I do, I'm only gonna breed it to one female. I'm not gonna breed it to multiple females, depending on what the offspring looks like. But yeah, when Mauricio told me like he hatched out 100 and maybe one of them was female, man, I'd be like, what the hell?
Interesting.
Are you breeding your dragons too?
So I was on the fence. They're all ready to breed this season, and I was on the fence because they're a lot of work. So I think I'm only gonna
Yes,
breed
they
one
are.
pair and see how that goes. And I got two het females that are het for albino. I just got to get the male.
Really?
You
I
have
bred
some
them a
too,
couple
right?
seasons, man.
It's just they lay so many damn eggs and so many clutches, and I don't know. When I got them, I wasn't really thinking. Like I just got them, and I was like, whatever. I went half with my buddy, so it's like a project with me and my buddy. But to see how one of her eyes is starting to go phantom,
Yeah, it's just one, huh?
yeah. But the dragons
Will
sell,
the other
man.
one
Whenever I go to
ultimately go?
shows,
Or?
they're like everyone wants dragons, but it's like they're a lot of
Mm,
work too.
they definitely are. They're a handful. I have two of them, two left, but I spent a couple of years breeding them, man, and never again, man, never again. It's a full-time job, dude.
Yeah, then you got
It's a
to
full
like
time job.
put a few babies in each thing so they don't nip each other, and you got to
They'll
feed them a
destroy
lot.
each other. They'll destroy each other. And the second they do, they're worthless. Now you have a bunch of pets, or you just don't want it to happen. So, after the first clutch, some stuff happened. I mean, it got to the point where I had like 20 something different single enclosures set up with 10 different heat lamps, and it started getting dangerous. I was worried about fires. I had to set cameras up because I was at work, and I'm like, dude, it just was. Uh,
Oh, when I
yeah,
was living in Florida, I had like 13 of them, and I had all the heat lamps and stuff. And I had a double master bedroom because we moved into a different townhouse at the time. So one master bedroom was for all my reptiles, and we had the other master. So it would be so hot in there. I'd have so many lights going, and I'm like, fuck. And I was selling at the time, so I'm thinking, man, they're gonna think I'm growing shit in this room instead of. And I wasn't even supposed to have reptiles at this place. It was in the lease, like you can't have any exotic pets. I didn't give a shit. I rolled the dice. I never got in trouble. But I remember undercover came and knocked on the door, and I saw like he had like a badge around his neck, and I'm like, oh fuck. So I had my wife answer with my buddy Al, the older guy, and they went downstairs, and I guess the guy that used to live at that apartment they were looking for, and they're like, is so and so living? They're like, no, and the guy's like, oh, okay, thank you very much. Sorry to disrupt you, and have a nice day. And I was like,
Shit, right?
yeah.
But yeah, they're a when you have beautiful dragons like that, though, I mean, I guess it's absolutely worth it. Who does? I mean, after years after the craze started, I mean, I still want a red monster myself, but it's just unless you're producing these beautiful high end morphs, and not just your hypos or your Dunners or your leatherbacks. I mean, if you're producing some cool stuff, it's worth it,
Mhm.
But they always sell, everybody. You'd be hard pressed to find a cooler pet, manageable pet lizard. If you're not talking monitors. I mean, bearded dragons are awesome. It's the reason I still
Mhm.
have my two for pets, and I always will. Like they're awesome pets. They're very very cool.
And like all mine came out of hibernation a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
Before that, I was like, I'm just gonna get rid of them. I'll have more room for geckos, and then I just don't have to deal with the babies and this and that. But now that they all came out of hibernation and they're fattening up and they're brightening up and the lights
Yeah.
are on them, I'm like, oh man, these things
They're
look so
cool, dude.
dope.
Yeah.
So it's like I keep going back and forth, and I'm like, whatever. Maybe I'll just pair up 1 or 2 females, and not all 4 of the females, and see
And
how
they'll
it goes.
sell. I mean, I'm telling you right now, you hatch red monsters, I will buy one from you, and you haven't even hatched them yet. You know, that's how easily they'll sell. Like, and I mean that. Like, but you got to put into work. I don't want one with a nip tail. I don't want one with missing toes. You know,
Yeah.
it's you know,
And
they're
like now, like I said, I work for the I clean houses, and dude, when I first started getting into the geckos, I would clean 2 to 3 houses a day, and just as I was cleaning, I'm like, this is more money for geckos to get me going, and there was a time like for the first year and a half, maybe 2 years, and like me and my wife, after a while, was like I had to slow down because I was just too focused on working all the time, and then we were drifting apart, and I was like, nah, man, I gotta chill out. So now that I got all my stock and everything, I don't have to buy as much anymore. And now that I'm producing, now I'm starting to flip stuff. Now I'm doing shows the last year. And when I come home, she'll be like, how many did you sell? And I told her and how much I make. Now she's like, okay, like she backed up. She doesn't really, I mean, she wasn't really on me for the beginning. She was just like, she saw how much money I was dropping. And to her, it was like, oh, we can go on vacations with that money and this and that. And I'm thinking, just let me get this going. And once it gets going, we'll have extra money to do vacations and this and that. Because, like I said, like I'll never stop cleaning houses. I don't want to rely on animals to pay my bills. Like, and plus, like, if I just did this, like cleaning houses gets me active going out. Guys, I used to go to the gym. I used to work out all the time. I used to have like 20, 25 more pounds of muscle on me. I used to hit the gym. I used to eat 5, 6 meals a day, protein shakes, like all that shit, lift heavy. And then like after doing it for 20 years, all my older friends are like, dude, you wait and see. Wait till you hit your 40s.
that's
You're
a
going to start
fact.
feeling it. And
It's a
I'm like,
fact.
nah, man, I'm going to hit weights until I'm 70, 80 years old. No problem. Dude, they weren't kidding, bro. My lower back
Right.
started blowing
Well,
out all the
you
time.
can. You definitely can. You know, the human body does best when encouraged to lift minor loads, but you shouldn't be 40 anything deadlifting 500 pounds. You know, I very rarely lift anything over 300 pounds anymore, man. And that's just because my elbows feel it, my hands feel it, everything feels it, you know, and it's just you, you, you got to age gracefully, you know. There's no
Yep,
reason to be, you know, doing crazy things, but a body in motion, I genuinely believe stays in motion, you know, like you were saying, being active and cleaning keeps you active. You have to stay active, you know,
for
one
sure.
which way, shape, or form, whether it's bicycles or running or just being active, running around from house to house, you know, carrying equipment upstairs. You know, I swing a hammer for a living. I mean, I wish I could say there was a day that went by I didn't have to pick something up, but you know, today I was
Some of the
lifting 350-pound 70-inch by 60-inch glass panels for, you know, a glass shower enclosure. You know, it's never
Some
end.
of the best people I ever met though was at the gym, to tell you the truth.
Mm.
Like my buddy Al that I did the reptiles with in Florida. And then up here, right, I met Austin from Scorch and Scalies. I stopped going to the gym, and then I was at a Repticon show. I was vending with Ancient Creations, and he popped up at a table. He's like, dude, I didn't know you started to do this now. And I'm like, yeah. And then I gave him my number, and now we're vending shows together. I got him a job at my cleaning company that I work for,
Nice,
and like
nice.
so yeah, man, like I said, when I first got into it, I started going to all the Atlanta shows, networking, you meet people, and I got a lot of good friends now, like Sam and her husband Brandon from Ancient Creations, my buddy Scorch and Scalies, Austin, Tom from Southern Rays Exotics, um, also Erin from Southern Girl
She's
Exotics.
awesome,
Like,
man.
yeah, she's a cool chick. Every time she comes and vends at Atlanta, I bullshit with her for a while. Met a lot of good people. Zach from Alliance Collaborations, Georgia Cresties. Like these guys, like I'm blessed that I met them all because they helped me too, like get where I'm at. And that's what it's about, man. It's about helping each other out. Like all the people that don't help each other out and they're stingy and stuff.
Yeah, it's kind
Yeah.
of it's one of them things. You steer clear of it. Stick around the positive energy, and it'll find you. Can you guys excuse me for literally 2 minutes? My dog is like, gotta, I
Yeah. Go
gotta
do
go
what you
out
gotta do, man.
around.
So
Hey, so I saw you were at the West Palm Reptilian Nation last weekend. It looked pretty busy by seeing the pictures and videos.
Oh yeah. Reptilian Nation is a busy show, man. A lot of people, a lot of people attend. It's one of my best shows to go to as far as attendance.
I was supposed to go last weekend down there because that's my hometown. I lived in Lake Worth, so to get to that show from where I used to live is like a 15-minute drive. But I haven't been down to my hometown in like 4 years because I've been so busy with the reptiles and trying to get this going. And so I wanted to come down, but I had my nephew couldn't watch my reptiles last weekend because he was busy doing something. So I couldn't make it, but I wanted to go so bad. I wanted to like see Paul and everybody and see you down there, and it would have been a good time, but it just didn't work out. I'm gonna try going next year though.
You have Scales in June is in the same place, West Palm.
And that's a good show too.
That's a good one too. Everybody, Paul should probably be there. Tiki gonna be there. I'm gonna be there. A lot of people gonna be there as well. Same exact place where Reptilian Nation is. So that's, and then Daytona, man. But I know
Yeah.
I know you want to go to West Palm because you used to live there. But Daytona is another spot.
Yeah, I've been to the Daytona show
Okay.
probably like 4 times in my life. And I've ended there once where I got bit by the snake. But yeah, it's a good show. But from what I'm hearing that West Palm show is blowing up though in the last couple of years.
It's a good show. It's a good show. It's not as big as Daytona, but it's a good show. It's a good show. It's
Because we
definitely
get Reptilian Nation here in Atlanta. It usually comes in the summertime here too. And we'll vend that one. But my favorite show that comes here now is Bob's show, the Southeastern Reptile Expo. Bob, that dude knows how to throw a show, dude. Like he
heard.
literally has his staff unload your car for you with carts and bring it to your table. They like cater you, like, and also what he does, he brings in like Snake Discovery, Emily, and I forget the other guy's name. So they do meet and greets with him, which brings more people to the show. So like, I gotta say, like, because the shows needed to do something better, man. And what he's doing is definitely like he has like good vendors there, not no bullshit. Knows how to run it. They cater you. Like they know how to advertise it really well.
Yeah,
So where Repticon, man, they just give me your money and do whatever you want. Like I don't know. It's different.
yeah. I've heard very good things about Bob's show. Very impressive, and the things I heard, I'm all for that. That's amazing. It's great to hear things like that. It's also sad to hear those things and then experience the complete opposite when you do go to these type of shows,
Mm-hmm.
where it's like catered towards one or two people and you don't get no advertisement, you don't get no treatment to make yourself feel good. It's like
Mm-hmm.
you're paying for a table to make the person rich, and you don't even have a person to stop by and grab a free piece of candy at your table. But I I I'm of the I'm of the belief that, you know, yes, these people are throwing these shows. Yes, they should be doing advertisement. Like Bob Wu is I believe is Bob Wu, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He is definitely a person that a lot of people should model after and pay attention to what he's doing, elevate,
Mm-hmm.
you know. But I also feel like, us as a hobby, and this is for the reptile hobby as a whole, um we need to elevate and take charge of these type of things. Like, without change, there will be no change. So if we see that these things are happening and all we're doing is congregating and complaining about it and not doing anything about it, then we're also part of the problem.
Right.
Like go out there and do your part. You know what I'm saying? And if I'm going out there and I'm putting out my little, oh, come to Reptilian Nation, come see this, come see that, and you're going out there and come see this and come see that, and the same way how you say, hey, you're going to California to meet your boys and we sharing tables and stuff. If we continue to do that, we're not providing the space for the trash to come in. We're keeping it united, and we're blowing up, you know. And I think that it's great to get, like, I push this a lot, especially with newer breeders and stuff. Bro, go get yourself a table. Even if you don't have stuff for sale, go get yourself a table, bring some stuff to show. And the most important part about it is not the stuff that you have for sale. Sell yourself. Show people who you are. And take up that table, because if you're a good person and you're showing who you are, it stops a trash person from taking and occupying that spot.
You're right. And when I go to shows, even though you don't make a sale to that person, doesn't mean they're not going to come back and buy something from you in the future.
Bro, I get a lot of people. One of the things that I won't say hate, so I won't use that word, but I don't like, you know, the constant, hey, did you make money? Hey, how's the show? Did you sell? At the end of the day, my focus at a show is presentation and conversation. You know, I want to talk with everybody that stops at my table. My wife knows I stand for 2 days straight. I prep a whole week in advance. It does not change. It does not stop. I take it very seriously. And it's smiling at every person, answering every question. Even, hey, I could recommend you looking for this, go to Killer Exotics John over there. He's got some cool stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not all about the sales. It's about teaching the kids, letting them see the geckos, letting them see the animals, explaining to them all the different types of animals I have on the table, and just having a good time at the end of the day. That focus of how much did you sell and this, that, first of all, you're sitting at your table, you're not even paying attention to people coming. You didn't even take it upon yourself because you felt, oh, I bought tables, then there should naturally be people here to buy. You know, like, you're not going on social media promoting anything. You're not going on social media bringing attention to people to come to the shows. You're not offering anything to anybody to come to the shows. So the person that's doing all that hard work is the person that has the crowd around their table. Like, you know, you're bringing animals that are not well fed, that are not well housed, that don't have no good presentation.
Display cases are dirty and nasty.
Like, come on, man. You know, we have to take ownership sometimes of the failures. And when you see stuff like what Bob is doing, bro, we got to talk to these people and say, hey, let's make this better. We want it to be better. What do we have to do as a team, as a group effort? Do we have to pay $50 more? So then let's pay a little bit extra, but cut the nonsense out. You know, it's that simple. I think it's that simple. Like, but
I mean, there was people that walk up to your table, and some people will think that person ain't gonna buy a gecko from me. But you can't think like that. Like, you can't judge a book by its cover. There was people that I didn't even think would buy gecko. Like, it was one girl, she looked like she probably wasn't going to spend. She ended up buying a $400 gecko off of me. And my buddy's like, dude, I didn't expect that. I was like, you just don't know. Like,
the perfect example is Adam Sandler and his daughter walking into a Louis Vuitton store. Adam Sandler's daughter is wearing baggy jeans, baggy hoodie. They treated her like garbage. What happens next? Adam Sandler walks in, spends $300,000 cash. Don't judge a book by its cover.
Yep.
Some that I'm one of those books that I don't talk much and this, that, the other. And if you make me feel comfortable, I'm spending that money with you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm spending that money with you. You know, like I hate when people judge books by their cover. Like that's not good. Like
Right.
that's not good, man. You know,
Mm-hmm.
anybody could have money and not portray themselves to have money. And that's not what it should be about. It shouldn't be about that, you know? That's
Like one guy, I spent time teaching him about the guy. He was a snake guy too, and then he walked the whole show, and he came back and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna get a gecko from you because you took the time to teach me about him. She's like, you got the best product since I walked around the show, and he's like, I want to get some from you, and I'm like, cool. So it's like you got to take the time, you got to teach people, and like you said, some people may walk up to your table and I've had no intentions of buying anything, and then they'll walk away with one. So you just gotta spend time, and I enjoy that. Like when people come up to my table and they're like, "Dude, your geckos are nice. Like you don't see gargs like this that have the color and that look healthy and this and that," and that makes me feel good. Like I'm doing something
that,
right.
that that's what I do this for. That's what the amazing feel. Not only that, when they do purchase something from you, and then the next show you're at, these people come back to your table like, hey,
Yep.
John, look, remember the gecko I bought? I bought this gecko. Look at how it's doing. And this is that, the
Yep.
other. And
I
like,
love that.
like that's the amazing feeling, man. That's the amazing feeling.
Yep. But shows are awesome. Like even though like a lot of people say shows are going downhill and this and that, I like doing them. Like they're fun. You get to meet people and show and talk about your animals, show your animals, and then it's awesome.
So I don't believe anything is going downhill. Everything probably is slowing down and is not as fast as fast as it used to be. However, I don't think nothing is going downhill. You know, there's pros and cons to every aspect of life. You have the negative comments about Palm Street. I've experienced very positive things on Palm Street. You have the negative comments about Morph Market. I've experienced very positive things about Morph Market. You have the negative comments about reptile shows. I've experienced nothing but positivity at reptile shows. You know,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't I'm not the sheep in the herd. I'm the wolf roaming around by myself through the forest. So I
Mm-hmm.
make it happen for me. I don't dwell on he's doing this and they doing that and oh my god, is this is the worst thing. No, man. I make sure, okay, if this show is not about sales, well then this show is going to be about meeting people and letting them know my name. You know,
Yep.
make sure I hand out as many business cards as possible. And those phone calls and text messages start coming in, John. They start coming
Yep.
in
For
after
sure.
the show.
Mhm.
After the show, it doesn't matter.
Oh yeah. And the last show I did, two people called me up. Oh, I should have got a gecko. I was at the show, but they're like, now that I was thinking about it, and what is like when they see that you're passionate about your animals and you enjoy what you're doing, they like seeing that. Like you said, when you go to a table and you gotta like almost like pry open the person to talk or whatever, it's a turnoff. Like as soon as someone comes up to my table, hey, how you doing? Do you have any geckos at home? That's the first thing I say because then that starts conversation. Because a lot of people they don't really want to start conversations,
Yeah.
so I'll start it up, and then that's how it leads to other things. Or like, you have a crested gecko at home. Well, do you know anything about the gargoyle geckos? Check this thing out. The same, pretty much same type of care, but these guys look like little alligators. Their colors pop, like, and then I'll throw this guy in their hand, and usually they're like, "Oh man, I didn't know they were this
Yeah,
chill."
yeah.
And
and
yeah,
and and your passion is like a magnet. Like once you start if you're really into it and you're about your animals, your passion and you explaining it and you're talking about it, it's magnetic. I start to be like, wow. Well, yeah, that's cool. Let me feel it. Let me do this. And that's what a show is, that an
Yeah.
in-person show, you know?
And then I'll be like, this is the parents. Like, I'll show them pictures. Like, this is
Yeah.
the parents right here.
Yeah.
It has a chance of looking like this. And then what's the other thing I'll get? I'll say the parents, and then got a brain fart. But anyways, like, damn.
Parents, the lineage,
The
the
lineage. Oh, that's what I was getting to. The one thing I do that I don't see anyone else do is whenever I'm home most of the time to see my geckos hatch out of the egg, either if their heads are sticking out or once they come out of the egg, I always get a picture. So when people buy their gecko and I produce it, I'll be like, well, guess what? Here's the actual picture of your gecko hatching out or right out of the egg as a baby. And they're like, dude, that's so cool. And that's just one thing I do different that I think is pretty neat. So,
yeah.
but yeah, like all the people will be like, dude, you got a picture of it hatching out? Yep, this is it right here. Because all I have to do is type in the hatch date in my phone and then bam, the picture pulls up. So that's one thing I try to do that's a little different.
Yeah, that's unique. I mean, I see it all the time. Like, you see so many different ideas, and I've had people say, you don't need to keep track of that, or you don't need to do this. And it's just, I feel like it just shows extra on you, you know, like if you're providing that picture, it's just like saying, if you want to put UVB, they don't need UVB. All right, but I want to do it. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You want to provide UVB, provide UVB. You want to provide a baby picture, that's freaking cool. That makes buying a gecko from Killer Exotics something unique about buying it from John, because he's giving you a egg picture. Like,
Yeah. And it's not like I'm not a pusher where I'm buying geckos from someone else and selling them. Like I'm producing it in house, taking my time, giving
yeah,
it all I can
yeah,
to give you good.
Today's hobby is a unique thing.
Mhm.
yeah, very, very.
So
Yeah, come check out Reptilian Nation. It's an amazing show. I'd say my between Scales and Reptilian Nation, those are my two favorite shows, based on the attendance, based on the size of the show. And I honestly will tell you, I don't have a problem with Repticon at neither. I feel that there's some things that they could do better, you know, that by promotion wise and stuff like that.
Mhm.
But I feel like it's hit or miss as well.
Yep.
Repticon in my hometown, Pembroke Pines, is probably the slowest show. But the last one, everybody talks, Pembroke Pines, we're not doing Pembroke Pines. Is that the last show was packed?
Yeah.
The first time I've ever seen it packed, like how it was. So it's like hit or miss, man. If
Have you ever been to Tinley?
not yet, not yet.
Yeah, that's on my bucket list.
Me too.
Like I know I'll never be able to go to October because I'm always in Oceanside for that show every year. And I miss that show, and then I miss our Repticon here in Atlanta. Those are two shows I always miss because I'm in Cali. But the March show in Tinley, I want to do it not this year, but next year.
I
for sure.
literally just got a text right before we started this podcast. Hey, one of my friends is, hey, I'm looking at tickets for Tinley. Book them now. Let's go. And I said, I can't do March, but I'm definitely trying to go October. Not to
And I heard
vend.
the October is a better show than the March.
That's why I want to. That's what
It's the
you
big,
know.
big one.
That's the one. That's what I hear. It's the biggest one where everybody goes. I've heard, you know, even in the hotels, people are hanging
Yeah.
out and talking reptiles and stuff. So if I go for the first time, I want to try October first, and then if anything, I'll try March in the future. But Tinley and Pomona Super Show.
But I heard that show for geckos isn't as good, especially for gargs. There's not that many gargs at the Pomona show. RR Gargoyles, he invited me. He's like, I may be vending there either this year or next year. Do you want a table? And I'm like, we'll see when it comes. Because if I go over there, I want to bring some nice stuff too. But yeah, definitely Tinley is one I'm dying to check out. And my buddy is on the list now for, I think this will be his 5th year on the waiting list. So he's due to get in soon. And he's like, if I get in, will you vend with me? And I'm like, yeah, but I want to go to it just as a spectator because I heard it's so damn busy that you're not going to have time to go look around if you're vending. So I told Brian from Sundown, I was like, maybe next March I'll go with you and I'll go as a spectator, but then I'll help you vend like in between. And he's like, that'll be cool. So I'll do that for first time around. And then once my buddy gets in, I'll eventually vend it.
I'm the same way. I need to at least be a spectator first because as a vendor, I'm too focused on watching and handling my table. I don't want to walk around.
Yeah, me too. Whenever I do a show, it's like I feel like if I leave the table, I'm missing out on a sale, and I don't want to leave the table.
Yeah.
So that's why, like before the show starts, I'll get there early, and after I set up, I'll walk around. Everyone's like, "Did you really get to see a show?" And I'm like, "No, because I'm working. Like I need to make money. Like if I'm away from the table, that person could have walked by, and I missed out on a sale. So the only time I go is to take a piss, and half the time I don't even leave for that
Yeah.
either. I'm just there.
Sometimes you also have to be you know I guess I think of things differently. I was having this conversation with somebody, but you go to these shows, for instance, let's say we're flying out to Pomona and we calculate the price of a ticket to go round trip to Pomona, the price of a hotel. I don't want to necessarily bring my geckos and essentially give them away to pay the price of a plane ticket and a hotel.
Yeah. And that's why I'm afraid to travel right now because same thing what you just said. It's like you got to pay for the hotel, time, food, all that, and then buy the tables. And then, so right there, say you're already like 1,500, 2,000, you got to sell that much just to make your money back and some. So that's why I'm nervous. That's why I do all the local shows for now.
Yeah. That's why I rather go spectate at first, I'd rather go spectate at first, and then eventually I'll take the jump. But you have to spectate and see what's going on. I want to do in your town with Bob's show. When I heard that they unload your truck and everything, and they're doing visual inspections of the animals, they walk around and stuff. Like I've never been scared of that, and I appreciate that, and I love that. Like my Class 3 license that people like, oh, don't apply for that because FWC can come to your house. Come to my house and let me know what I'm doing wrong so I can fix it. Like they're not gonna come to your house and lock you up because you got a piece of poop in your cage. You know, if you're not doing nothing illegal, there's nothing to worry about. Come, have a cup of coffee, walk my thing, let me know what I need to fix. You'll never find it messed up again.
Yep.
I like stuff like that. I feel like that's like Tiki's Gold Standard Club.
Yep.
The elevation with Bob's show. These are those things that no one should be scared of or intimidated, but instead we should be embracing these things because it elevates the whole entire hobby. It's setting higher standards. So don't be scared of it.
And all the people that are scared, they probably got something going on in their room that they don't want them to see.
Hello.
They're usually the ones telling other people what they're doing wrong.
Hello. Those are the ones. And that's why I embrace it, because it's just like in school or something. Don't be scared because you're going to get detention if you stand up and walk out to the bathroom. Raise your hand and get your permission to go do so, and do it the right way. Like stand in line like everybody else and do your thing. Like, and there will be no disruptions in class. We'll all get to learn.
Yep.
You know?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, man. It's It's interesting.
For sure.
So what's next? What's next for Killer Exotics? What are you focused on? I know we talked about the breeding projects and things like that. But what else you trying to do?
Honestly, like I'm not trying to get like big as Tiki's and that. Like I'm just trying to do my thing, you know, like create nice animals, good structure, have fun doing like my garbage pail guard things online, come out with some nice merch because like I'll go to shows and it's like I want a cool shirt with a gargoyle on it. Like Tiki's has a couple cool shirts and all, but I wanted to come out with something that's like people are like, damn, I want to get one of those. It has a Chewy on his shirt. He's got a Cresty on his. Like I just got these ones. So I got this one right here as like a Medusa.
That's cool. You got to do one of those
Very cool.
garbage pail kid shirts though, man. Like I'm all in on that.
And
That's
there's
cool.
like, and all of them are all my geckos on the shirt. Then I got like for people that like tortoises, I got the tortoise one.
Do
Hey,
you breed those? Do you breed the sulcatas?
So
takes
for 3 seasons, I was getting a couple clutches, and the last 2 years, nothing. I think my male, like I think I'm gonna separate them for a year and then put them together. I think the female, dude, he's like Ron Jeremy on her 24/7, bothering her, and she's just like, I had enough. Like she just gets away from him. Like I think he's just over aggressive, and she just doesn't want to deal with it. So I haven't got anything the last 2 years. But honestly, like if I get eggs, I get them. I'll hatch them. But if I don't, I'm satisfied. They're just really my pets. Like I'll keep them forever. They're like little dinosaurs. So honestly, like with the population of them and stuff, like so many go to rescues and everything. So like I said, if I
That's
don't
what I
get any
always
eggs,
hear, and I can't find one. I'd have rescued one in a heartbeat, man. I can never. Everybody always tells me, "Aunt, don't go buy one. Don't buy one. They're everywhere." I'm like, "Where?" At my pet
well,
shop for $300. That's the only place I see them.
bro, one of my next door neighbors apparently has one. The other day, maybe a couple months ago, my wife calls me. I'm on my way home from work. She was walking the dog. There was a huge tortoise in the middle of the road, and the guy came out running after it. Apparently, they've had it for years. He's like, I need to get rid of this thing. It keeps digging. It keeps escaping. I don't know what to do with it. And she starts telling him, and he's like, she starts telling him I work with reptiles and stuff, and he's like, tell him to take it. Tell him to take it. So they didn't know. So I go over there, bro. It's a huge sulcata. I'm not taking. I would have sent it to you if you want it. I'll go talk to him. I don't know how
got
you're gonna
lucky.
ship it.
And
Shit is
my
huge.
two don't dig. Like I got lucky. They don't dig at all. The only time that they'll dig is my female will dig to bury, like to make a nest. Other than that, I got so lucky because I hear so many stories about people's that there's dig and they dig out of the yard or dig under the house. And I'm like, I just got so lucky that they don't. They're chill. Like they're cool ass tortoises. The male, like he dry humps the hell out of the female, and you can hear him every day at 4 o'clock. And then the neighbors, they crack up. They're like, "Yep, we can hear him." But yeah, that's why I was like, I should have named him Ron Jeremy because that dude, he's just a hornball, man. Like, it's crazy. But yeah, they're awesome. Though. They're like I said, they got cool little personalities, and I'll keep them forever. They're about 100 pounds each, and 20. One's 20, and the other one's 21 years old. Yeah,
You
they're
would
pretty
have
cool.
to ship that like through the airport or something. No,
How you?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I saw some Galapagos full-grown ones on Morph Market for sale, and I was like, I go to my wife, "Hey, babe, they got a big, ready-to-breed Galapagos for 40 grand. Should we get it?" And she's like,
yeah.
"Nah."
I want to get one. I just don't want, or even a pair for my backyard. I just don't want something so big. I was
The
thinking maybe
radiated tortoises are
that's
badass.
that's exactly what I was thinking. I love the shell on them, man. They're quite.
I
they're-
got 5 Redfoots. One's a hypo, 2 marbles, and then 2 regulars. They're all cherry heads, but yeah, I got those, and then I have a Russian tortoise that I got for free when I first moved here. A lady down the street, my neighbor's like, "Yeah, this lady's giving away a tortoise if you want." I was like, "Sure." So it's a Russian, and it's a female. We named her Lana, and it's the coolest tortoise. Like, she has the best personality. My wife loves her too. And every morning she has like a hut, and she knows I'm coming in. She sits on the hut and waits for me, and then she gets off the hut and she puts her hand right in her food dish, like, "Time to eat. Feed me now." Crazy.
Yeah, they're
There's
cool.
real deal Galapagos turtles on Morph Market for $3,200, babies.
Yeah, baby. The prices of those gone down so much
I
compared
didn't
to
think you could
like
even
20
buy
years
them.
ago.
I didn't
Yeah.
think you could even get them.
Because back in the day, they used to be like 10, 12,000 for a baby when I wanted a Galapagos like 20 years ago. And now you can get them for like, I seen them as low as 2 grand.
That's something you're gonna have to write in your will. Even the sulcata, probably, right? Like, you got to give it to somebody to continue to take care of.
Yeah, I got a bunch of buddies with kids that they all said that they want them. So everyone goes to me like, "What are you gonna do when you die with all your autographs and stuff?" And I'm like, "Well, when I die, what the hell can I do? I'm dead." So
Yeah,
like, someone will
yeah,
figure out what to do with them.
yeah. That's
But
This
it's
says
interesting.
must live in Florida to purchase and must sign paperwork.
for
I
the
wonder what it is.
Galapagos,
Yeah.
yeah, they're bad. But the Galapagos, you gotta wait. I think it's like 25 years before they can breed, mature enough to breed. And
Hmm.
so I was like, man, to get a baby now, and I'm 42. I should have done it 20 years ago, and then they would have been breeding soon. So, but back then I didn't have the money like that. There is so much more money. But I
Why
always
are we
wanted to go
selling
up.
Florida? Why? There's another ad here, and it says limited winter pricing, 11-inch Galapagos turtles, 12 grand, but Florida sale only. I wonder why you can only have them in Florida.
They're probably breeding them in Florida, and you're not able to cross state lines with them.
Just like the radiated tortoises, like they can't cross state line either to sell. Which those are cool. Like if I had to, like, I like tortoises, but you got to have room for them. And so if I had more room, I'd have more tortoises. Like I'd have radiated. I'd have some. I may get some pancakes because they don't get that big. Um, the Burmese star tortoises are cool as shit. But I always wanted a leopard tortoise, but
What are the other
like
big ones? Hermans, the big black one, something mountain tortoise.
Aldabra.
No, the one smaller, the third largest. It's like a
So it goes Galapagos, Aldabra, Sulcata, and then
oh
I
really?
think it gets to like leopards and that kind of size, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Well, I saw them on. They looked cool. They were like almost black.
I just
Yeah, the Aldabras, I'm pretty
those
sure.
those little tortoises, turtles.
Wood turtles. Wood turtles.
No, not wood turtles. The ones that
Spider tortoise?
no, the ones that this guy has from Canada. That they have like these eyes.
That
Wood turtle. It's a wood
Otis,
turtle.
the one yellow, is it like the box
Box
turtle one?
turtle.
No, it's not a box turtle. Is it Otis?
No.
Is it Otis?
It's yellow and he has like a long neck.
Yes,
And
yes.
he has a cool personality.
Yeah. Those are really cool. Those are and they like come out. He's always feeding them the worms.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are
That's
really cool.
So when I first moved up here, I worked at a middle school, and on my way to the school, we'd find box turtles crossing the street, especially after it rains because they want to get worms. So whenever I'd find one, they had a courtyard that they used to have box turtles in at the school. So I would just take them. But before I knew any better, I would bring them there and let them live in the court, the whatever. But from what I heard is those box turtles live within a 2 mile radius their whole entire lives. Or maybe it's less than 2 miles, but that's where they live their whole entire life and that's where they know. So to bring them into a whole new place further away isn't a good idea. So then I stopped bringing them to the school when I found them. But yeah, I used to see them. I would see them in the road. I didn't want them to get hit by cars, so I would always take them. But it's pretty neat how underneath how their flap goes in to cover their head. It actually like there's like a little flap, and it's just weird looking, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's
Those
I
leopard
had a
tortoises get bigger than I thought too. So do the Russian tortoises.
it's
They all
the
get bigger than I thought.
it's
So
the
the
Vietnamese black-breasted leaf turtle
huh,
is
I
what
have to
I'm
check
talking.
it out.
Yeah, check those out, fellas. The Vietnamese black-breasted leaf turtle. Those are really really cool.
So the leopard tortoises, when you get like the high white color shells, they almost look like Snow White in the color of the leopard. Dude, those things are so cool. They're more expensive, but the high white ones, they got a cool shell. So like if you Google high white leopard tortoise, you'll see they're just like pretty cool. Tortoises are just awesome, man. Like I just love the shells and they're just so cool looking. One of my wife always wants me to go out of the country, but I hate being on a plane for more than like 4 or 5 hours. But I would love to go to Australia to go to the Australian Zoo to check that place. That's like a dream of mine. But to go on a flight for 24 hours,
It's rough,
no
right?
way.
It is rough.
Yeah, I always wanted to meet Robert and their whole family, dude. Would have been pretty cool. Because I used to watch Steve Irwin all the time when I was younger. Like,
Yeah,
it's all I would watch. And then to find out how he went out, man, was just like, God, man, sucks.
that's one of the things that I worry about eventually getting to New Caledonia. The 24-hour flight over there, but then that small little plane that you have to get on to go.
That's small planes, like, dude. If it doesn't hold at least 100 passengers, I don't go on it. Like, I don't go on helicopters. I don't go on little tiny planes. No, thank you. Like, I know what happens when you go in those things. Like, no hot air balloons. Like, no,
Oh,
no way. Like when we went to Vegas, my wife's like, "Want to do a helicopter ride?" Hell no, I ain't going no helicopter ride. Like I see too many crazy video. Kobe, I mean, shit. Like no way, I ain't going to no helicopter.
yeah,
Hell no.
Kobe. That's that was rough.
Yep. Well, shit, man. I'm just thankful you guys had me on. I watch your show all the time, and even though I don't have like you guys talk about other kinds of geckos, now when I go to shows and I look at tables and I remember the names of the ones you talk about, I'm like, that's what that one is, or that's what that is. It makes sense now. It clicks. So
Is there before we close it out and stuff? What's one gecko that you don't have, obviously, that you would consider possibly getting into?
that's a good
That
question.
wait, whoa, whoa, that you've seen on the show, that we've talked about on the show, that really intrigued you.
The Santanic, the one with the moss with the leaf tail
The
gecko, what is it, Santanic?
satanic leaf tail gecko.
Yeah, those are pretty cool. Or there's a mossy one too, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, those are pretty neat looking.
Which one's
But
the
I would
mossy
have
one?
thought you said Shahua. The mossy one is the Sikori. The Sikori.
Just
That's
thinking like
I honestly would have thought that your next gecko would have been a Chahua.
I have them. I
Yeah.
got 3.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I got 3. I like them. So I bought 2 supposedly proven breeding pairs, and then one of the females, like 3 months later, I found at the bottom of the thing it passed away, and I was like, "What the hell?" Like it caught me off guard. So now I got 3, and then the other 2 I'll get eggs, but they're just not fertile. And then, I mean, I'm doing everything. I asked Brian tips and other people that have them, and I've been trying things. And like, I remember like when I first got them, you want to make sure that you feed them a lot of crickets that are dusty because they'll have calcium crashes and all this crap. And I still, all my eggs, like,
They're the most
nothing. Like, I'm,
complicated in all the species I keep too. They are without a doubt the most. I don't want to say complicated because they're not complicated, but they produce my lychees produce way more than my chihuahuas do. Way more.
and like, everyone's like, you can get a lychee. And I'm like, honestly, like, they're cool. I think the lychees are awesome looking. Like, they're big. I like the green ones. They look really cool. But when it comes to cleaning poop off the side of the cages, and I heard like pairing them up is difficult. Like, it could be a challenge, and I'm just like, I'm not ready for that right now. Like, at least not right now. But they are cool,
Yeah,
especially like
work with what you like, man. If you loved
yeah.
them, you'd have them. You know, if you loved them enough, you would know. You know, it's like I saw chihuahuas. I couldn't go on without them. I knew right then and there. You know, I had to have
Yeah,
them.
they are cool, man. Like I got one's like the female has pink in her and the male's like green, and then I have another green one. I named him Shrek. But yeah, they're cool. I like having a handle in them and checking them out. Like they're badass, but I just haven't had any luck trying to get babies. So I'm on the fence on like, do I want to keep them? Do I want to get rid of them? Do I maybe want to try selling those and try new ones? Or I don't know. So, but right now, like I said, I'm more focused on the Gargs for right now. Because like back in the day when I was telling you, I had everything. I had chameleons, I had monitors, I had everything. It was just too much. Like when I got back into this, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get Gargs. I'm gonna focus all and learn everything there is to learn about them before I jump into anything else. And then once I got comfortable with them, I got into the Cresties. And I'm good now. I know with them. I mean, I'm still learning stuff. Like I don't know everything, but I just want to keep it simple and not get into like this and this and this and this. Like I want to specialize, and then when I feel comfortable, okay, maybe we'll try something new. Then that time will come. But right now, I'm just still focusing a lot on the Gargs.
Nothing wrong with that. That's for sure.
For sure.
But like I said, this year is gonna. I'm really stoked for this season. Last year I was excited, but now that I got a lot more of my new ones going, it's exciting. Like I couldn't picture myself doing anything else. Like
There
yeah.
you go.
Then I found
Time's
out,
gonna come when you're gonna look back at this when you're working with every animal in your collection is gonna be a grandkid of an animal you produced. You know, you're gonna.
and this year will be the first year that I'm gonna produce something that like. I'll be pairing up something that I produce. So, and then next year I'll have a lot more.
Rewarding.
So, yeah, that's a cool feeling when you get another generation. It'll be pretty
I
cool.
got some lines where I'm working with great grandkids already. You know, this red project I have going on. I'm breeding great grandkids. You know, I mean fifth generation animals I've made 5 years ago.
And then I tell myself, like, man, if I didn't take 14 years off from reptiles, like, where would I be? But then honestly, it's like I wouldn't be where I am now because back then I didn't have the money to invest in these nice high quality
Everything happens
animals.
for a reason. You could have been breeding bearded dragons. You never would have got into Gargs. You never would have looked at them because you had your hands busy with the bearded dragons. You know,
Like when I
anything
worked
could
at
happen.
that reptile store, I remember Nick that owned it. He showed me a gargoyle gecko, but then they were just black and white. It wasn't anything crazy like they are now. I remember with his Jersey accent, he's explaining it to me. And I was like, that's cool. But at the time, I was, like I said, I was into the leopard geckos because they had more color on them. And that's when the raptors came out with the red eyes, and I was getting into those. And then, but yeah, now, man, these things, like, they really I got bit by the bug pretty good with these. So But yeah, man, like once again, like thank you for having me on. You guys, like it's
Sure,
a real
bro.
honor to be on your podcast. And like I said, like if you can get Brian from Sundown on there, I know he'd be down to do one with you guys. And
Yeah,
he does a lot of cool stuff. And also like RR Gargoyles, Mr. Gargoyles, that they would be
Yeah, I
a
wrote
cool
down
one
two
too.
of the names you said, Mr. Gargoyles and the other one.
But yeah, they work together. They like collaborate and they did a couple of the Palm Streets together recently. But yeah, they're producing some sick ass stuff. Yeah,
Nice.
definitely
Reach
some
out to him.
good ones coming out.
for sure. For sure.
All right, and where can everybody find you? Any last details? Anything you want to
Yes.
tell people where to find you? Your
So
merch?
right now, you can Instagram message me. I always answer all my messages. If you're looking for something, feel free to reach out. That's where you'll find me the most. I do all the Atlanta shows, all the Repticons. I do the Southeastern twice a year when it comes. I do the Reptilian Nation when it comes here to Atlanta. The Show Me Snakes. Um, I'm gonna try getting a morph market going. Hopefully by summer. I keep saying on the last podcast I did I was gonna get it done, but it's just I was so busy. And right now I'm finally getting a little light on the cleaning, so I can focus more with the reptiles. So hopefully we'll get that going. But like I said, if anyone wants anything, just feel free to reach out and ask. I'm more than willing to send pictures and show you what I got. I also do like Instagram stories. I'll post stuff like ready to fly. But yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, for now, and then hopefully I'll be doing some traveling bigger shows in the future. But I just want to get a little bit more a little bit more higher end stuff to do that too.
In time. You're doing it. You're
Yeah,
doing what you got to do. You know how to do it.
yeah, slow and steady.
And what about the
So.
merch? When are you going to make that available for people if they want one of your shirts?
So the merch, like if you reach out to me and and you want one, like I can order one, but it's gonna take probably 3 weeks to get. But right now I'm still networking, trying to find like a company that can print them for a good price. But like I said, I'm not budging on cheap quality. Like I want to get the nice quality shirts with the nice prints that'll last a long time. So once I find that, I'm hoping by summertime I'll have some of that merch going for sure. But
Nice.
yeah, everything will be posted on my stories, and I'll keep everyone up to date with everything on the Instagram. But yeah, that's the only. I don't have any Facebook or anything like that. It's just straight up Instagram. So
Simple. Keep it simple.
for me, Facebook, man, that's for old people. My mom's on that, and like I don't know. To me, I call Facebook the devil, man. I seen so much bad shit happen on there. That's why I didn't want to get an Instagram, is because of all the stuff that goes on. I see people dealing with Facebook, but I haven't had any issues on Instagram. Like, if anything, I'm happy because it brings like I've met so many people on this platform, so I'm truly thankful for that. And now I'm here with you guys. Like, you guys wouldn't even know who the hell I am if I didn't. I wouldn't probably know who you guys were. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Instagram bringing people together.
yeah,
Should be their slogan, right?
I ain't gonna lie. I like Instagram. I like how the features. It's just easy to use. Because like when it comes to text, though, like I want to do Palm Street, but I'm not like. It's too technical for me. Like, so I'm gonna probably jump on with some of my buddies that have Palm
That
Streets.
shit's easy,
The best
John.
way to
Is
get
that
into it because it's
it's super
overwhelming.
easy.
Yeah.
It's 5 buttons. End of story.
Maybe for
All right.
you.
Five buttons and take a picture. That's it. It's
And
not
then I see Morph Market's doing the lives now, and I heard about how they're charging for it compared to Palm Street, and I don't know.
listen, like we were talking about, Palm Street has their fees, Morph Market has their fees. Bro, everybody wants everything free. At the end of the
Yep.
day, consider sitting right there where you're at
You don't
on
have to
Morph
pack up
Market
all
Live. You don't got to
Yep.
pack up all your shit. You don't got to pay for hotels. You don't have to drive. You don't got to pay for a
Yep.
flight. You don't have to
Yep.
stress out your animals. Sometimes it's worth paying that for the comfort of your home. You can scratch your feet on your rug. If you're hungry, you could just grab something for your fridge. You could go outside, smoke a cigarette or whatever you smoke, and come right back in, and you can stay there for 27 hours if you want.
Yeah. I think what's just keeping me away is the whole like tech thing about it, but like I'm sure I'll learn.
If you was able
Maybe
to
once I
log
do it a
on
couple.
here, if you was able to log on here, it's very simple. Once you get it done the first time, every other time is done. It's easy. Just get it done the first time, man. And if you need to, we could go on live and I'll show you how to do everything. Very simple.
Cool. Thanks. Awesome. So yeah, eventually I'll be getting into that too. So like I said, I just gotta chill out with the cleanings, man. Like it's like I can't tell. I've had some of these clients for years, so until they tell me they don't want me no more, I'm gonna keep cleaning. And then I lost a few services last month, and I have a few on pause right now because they're either moving or getting their houses remodeled. But yeah, I'm glad I got more time now for the reptiles. Cool, man.
You got anything you want to say, Mark? Do you have any announcements or anything that you want to talk about with the Gecko Room or?
Oh, we were just at a show. We'll be in Scales. We will be in Scales, West Palm Beach, June. And I just want to, off gargoyle topic, I just got my copy of Leopard Gecko Morphs the other day. I saw Ron Tremper put it up on Instagram. He's selling signed copies, and I thought that was really cool. I've never gotten to meet the legend himself. To me, he's one of the legends in the hobby. So I said, damn, a signed copy? Why not? And I didn't have the book. So go out and show some support, man. He actually does sign it. 2026, Ron Tremper, Leopard Gecko Morphs, and tag him in this so that way he knows like we're out here trying to promote his book. And I was excited to add it to the collection. I collect all the books. And then for the Gargoyle episode, if you don't have, go get yourself this. This is a good one. It's a good read.
I think Paul needs to make an updated one.
Paul,
I talked to him about that.
Paul needs to make go see Paul's latest podcast with Supreme Wally. That was a great one. Go see Wally and Paul chop it up. I could watch Paul for hours and for days. I could talk to Paul.
Yeah, Paul. When he talks
at the shows, bro, when I'm vending, I try to talk to Paul at the end because he just will.
He sucks you in.
Yeah. And it's like, bro, I don't even have red gargoyles, and you make me want to get all of this stuff. And even David himself, but Paul will just talk, and one thing will lead to another, question after question after question, and it's like, oh shit, we gotta go, Paul.
Dude, he'll have a whole crowd around his table, and he don't even care about sound. He'll just, if you're talking to him about geckos, he'll keep talking, bro. Like
and won't stop. And won't stop.
Like I said, the first time I met him, I spent at least 3 hours at his table talking nonstop. And he's such a good dude, man.
And he makes sense. He makes sense with a lot of the stuff that he talks, bro.
And how he teaches it too.
Yeah.
Like he knows how to he's a good dude, man. Like I'm glad we have him in the community because he's a good.
Need a book.
He's a legend.
We need that. We need that.
I told him, I was like, dude, because he keeps talking about the last book you pulled up, and he's like, this is a little outdated. And I was like, so when are you gonna write the next copy? And he's like, man. But I think the reason why he doesn't, what did he say? I think it's like he wants to do it, but in a sense he doesn't because he knows there's gonna be some people that aren't gonna agree and stuff like that.
So what? So what? It happened.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I wanted to say. Get your library together, people. Don't forget about the books. Don't forget about the
Sure.
books. That's it.
All right, guys. We appreciate you. I will link all of John's information in the description. We appreciate you. Like, subscribe, share, do all that fancy jazz. We're here for you guys, man. And check out monsterbox.us. Buy yourself some cages. Appreciate you. Peace.
Peace.